It's time for Mount Vernon Rams baseball on WMIX, on your radio at AM 940 and online at WMIXsports.com. Rams baseball is presented by the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams, Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. The Mount Vernon Rams on WMIX are also sponsored in part by Ren Lake College. See how you can save thousands on your education at rlc.edu. The Medicine Shop of Mount Vernon, Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a Hospital. Raising the Bar. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Sarah Staley, your country financial agent. Heartland Accounting. And by Central Christian Church. It's time to join Chris Hugo and Danny Zerwinski in the WMIX Sports mobile studios for Mount Vernon Rams baseball. Rams pregame show starts now.
And good afternoon from GCS Ballpark. Chris Hugo with you today for Mount Vernon Rams baseball. We are on the road technically, but in a neutral site game versus the Alton Redbirds. And of course, the Redbirds come in with a pretty impressive record, 15-3 on the year, though they are just 2-3 in the Southwestern Conference. However, a tough Alton team has only managed to find one win against the Rams here at GCS Park. That came in 2009. Rams have since won 3 straight. We'll talk about all of that and more here on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show, including the Rams team that is now 16-5 on the year. So 21 games in the books. Number 22 comes today. We'll talk about that and more here on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Landers Collision Centers didn't just expand in Mount Vernon. They expanded their service. Call 1-888-LANDERS next time you need them. That's 1-888 Landers. We'll take a break. When we come back, plenty more to talk about. This is Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer with a look at your next round weather. Partly sunny today. Highs will be right around 70. Tonight will turn out mostly cloudy, low 53. Rather cloudy, breezy, and cooler tomorrow. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly from late morning on, high 62. A shower in spots early on Wednesday. Otherwise, it'll turn out partly sunny and cool. Temperatures Wednesday will top out at 54 degrees. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
The Motor City reclaims its name with the 2013 Chrysler 200. Hi, Roy Schmidt Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. The Chrysler 200 has a great classy design. The lines and curves create a precise chisel profile. LED tail lamps eliminate attention to detail, and each Chrysler 200 wheel choice adds a different finishing touch to the vehicle's overall design. Right now, we are offering our own finishing touch with great incentives. Choose $3,000 in customer cash or choose 0% financing for 72 months. Wow! We have over 30 Chrysler 200s in stock, all having been awarded the IIHS Top Safety Pick. Browse our entire inventory at KingCityChrysler.com or come see one of our associates at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, and don't forget to find us on Facebook.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals. Pekin Insurance.
You're listening to Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
And we'll get back Rams Baseball, your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers Collision Center's fixes, and now details of them all. And, of course, Chris Hugo with you today. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment. Rams Baseball 16-5 against the Alton Redbirds here on the road, a 15-3 team that is just 2-3 in the Southwestern Conference, a tough Southwestern Conference. Of course, the Rams have played a few of those teams thus far this year, but you take a look at the track record of the Redbirds. Their 3 losses all in conference play. They lost to Collinsville at home. I think that on the road is the schedule I'm looking at is somewhat shaky, but Belleville West, of course, they lost 12-9, a team the Rams will see a little bit later on in May. And then the third loss came at home against the O'Fallon Panthers, a team that is 12-8 this year, but 4-2 and cruising to the Southwest. Have yet to play Edwardsville, another team on the Rams schedule, but that will be made up after a rainout a little bit later on this season. Landers Collision Centers, big or small, Landers fixes them all. That's 1-888-LANDERS, Landers. Give them a call the next time you need them. It appears the Rams are going to be the home team today after a little bit of squabbling back and forth prior to the game to decide who was going to be what. It'll be the Rams, the home team on the scoreboard. The Redbirds, of course, will be the visitors. And the Redbirds, a team last year, didn't quite make it that far into the postseason in Class 4A. They lost the Granite City Regional Championship to the Edwardsville Tigers 6-2. This year they'll head to the Edwardsville Regional, where they'll meet up with the Tigers, Danville, Pekin, and Quincy, all part of the Bloomington sectional to be played at Illinois Wesleyan. And that, of course, is in the U of I Super in Class 4A. And, of course, as you know, it has since been released. The Rams are heading to the Heron Regional in mid-May, so we'll see how that works out, again, with some of the South 7 Conference folks. Centralia back in the fold after the two teams were split up last year, but also the Heron Tigers. Carbondale Terriers, Marion Wildcats will join the Rams down there. It'll be a tough way to go today for the Rams, as they will take on hurler Ben Baldridge, who's 2-1 on the year. But not only that, you have to consider their top player to be their catcher, Brent Gibbs, a 3-year starter now for the Redbirds. Hit .398 last year with a pair of bombs, 32 runs batted in, and many consider him possibly to be the guy that gets the first professional baseball contract in at least 4 decades from Alton. As of now, he's an Indiana University product, so we'll see where the future will carry him. We need to get to know your Central Christian Church starting lineups, and of course, first, for your visiting Alton Redbirds, their batting order will be number 4, Ron Wisnaski, the center fielder, to lead off. Clint Kress bats second at third base. Brent Gibbs, the aforementioned, is your catcher batting third. It'll be Matt Hopkins in right field cleaning up. Nick Falda, the left fielder, bats fifth. Ray Bailey, the DH, batting for the pitcher Baldridge, will bat sixth. It'll be Matt Halliday, not Matt Holliday. Matt Halliday at shortstop, batting seventh. Nick Drost is at first base, batting eighth. And Austin Stiltz is your second baseman. Rounding out the batting order, of course, for the aforementioned Alton Redbirds. Getting the start today for the Rams, it'll be Brock Fulkerson. Had a complete game shutout in his last appearance. That came against the Centralia Orphans. Catching him will be Colin Young, Sawyer Harrison, Matthew Williams, Trevor Flota, and Colt Metter, your infield from third to first. And outside the outfield will be Clayton Reeves, Landon Thomas, and Jake Pike for Tim Holloway's Rams. But the story on Brock Fulkerson, junior hurler, has pretty good command of all of his pitches and able to throw it fairly hard. We'll see how he fares out today as we'll get you some stats on your Rams starting pitcher here in just a moment. Those starting lineups, however, presented by Central Christian Church. Log on to thenewscentral.com for service times, webcasts, and more information. That's thenewscentral.com. Central Christian Church is loving God and loving people. And again, we'll get you that information in just a moment as Brock Fulkerson, believe it or not, is 5-1 on the year and puts all of that on the line here today. 37.1 innings pitched. That's 37 in the third. And of course, has only allowed 11 earned runs on the year compared to 28 base hits. First pitch of the ball game is a swinging strike at 3:54, as it's Wisnaski, Kress, and Gibbs to start us off here in the top half of the first inning. Rams baseball is powered by Community First Bank at the Heartland. 5 Jefferson County branches are responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to personal banking. And welcome back to a leadoff base hit for the Redbirds. It's a leadoff single for Wisnaski with Kress to follow here in the top half of the first inning. And we'll meet the Rams batting order in the bottom half. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. The WMIX Sports mobile studios, meanwhile, are driven by Ford Square. Got us here safely here today. The 16-5 Rams, the 15-3 Alton Redbirds. And, of course, we told you where the Redbirds and the Rams are both headed this postseason. We'll take a glimpse at the Redbirds of late throughout the game as the first pitch to left-hander Kress is going to miss just outside. A 1-0 count here on the Redbird third baseman. Interesting uniforms this year for the Redbirds. All whites. That includes white pants, black belts. But we'll tell you more about their uniforms across the chest here in just a moment as the 1-0 pitch is going to miss low and inside. So struggling here with Kress to start out, just trying to avoid his strengths and try to exploit his weaknesses here. It's a 2-0 count quickly. Redbirds with birds on the bat sprawl across the chest. Clearly a Memphis Redbirds influence, which would obviously be a St. Louis Cardinals influence, as the 2-0 pitch is going to cut the plate. And it'll be the first strike of the at-bat to Clint Kress. 2 balls, 1 strike. Glad to have you with us if you're just joining us. We got underway at about 3:54. So, in the grand scheme of things, we're about 6 minutes early, but considering the varsity was supposed to have played at 6 p.m., we're well early today. Runner on first, nobody out, top one. 2-1 pitch on the way. The runner go on Young's offering is going to be in the center field. Good backup there by Landon Thomas, and that would have been a stolen base. Will be a stolen base for Wisnaski. With Kress on deck at a 3-1 count. So hitter's count here becomes an RBI chance with the runner in scoring position here in this top half of the first inning. WMIX, and I knew that would get DC, who's tuned in. He's on assignment, however. White pants, certainly not his favorite, and I am in wholehearted agreement. They are straight up white. The helmets are white as well, as are their hats with a black bill, but we'll get to know that a little bit later on as the 3-1 pitch is fouled back to the backstop. Beautiful ballpark here in Sauget, just off of Interstate 255. The benches, of course, are 318 down the left field line, 385 straightaway center, 345 in the gaps. I'm assuming the right field line is also 318 with a bit of a high wall back there with quite a few advertisements. Full count with one on and nobody out at the top of the first. Fulkerson out of the stretch. The right-hander gets set. Here comes the pitch on the way, and that'll be poked foul toward the bullpen. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. So quickly, a 6-pitch at-bat for Clint Kress. After a 2-pitch at-bat for Wisnaski, who sent one right up the middle for a leadoff single, now stands after a stolen base on second. Let's see what the Redbirds do here as Kress will dig back in with the Indiana University future Hoosier on deck. Brent Gibbs might be a pro before it's all said and done. Full count pitch is going to be popped up to the left side. Giving chase will be Matthew Williams. Skin of the grass, you would normally say, but they've since switched to turf here at GCS Ballpark. So the grab will put it out on the board and keep the runner at second base. Of course, you may or may not hear a familiar voice in the background. That's Rams basketball coach and JV baseball coach Scott Gamber handling the PA duties, as always. As Gibbs will step in, has an RBI chance. Again, hit .398 last year. See what he does this year. He'll check on the runner at second, and why shouldn't they? That's pretty atypical of this Rams defense. We're trying to pick up a big non-conference win here today against a tough 4A team, having a pretty good year at 15-3. Here comes the pitch on the way, and the first one blown past, and Gibbs was eyeing a home run all the way, swings and misses, and falls behind. 0-1. So we're on the Twitterverse. Can't forget about that. We finally reached the 800 follower plateau. Would love to add a few more today. As 0-1 is the count here to the catcher Gibbs. Runner on second, one out top of the first, swung and a miss, pulled a string that time. And now down to the count is Gibbs at 0-2. Defense, of course, playing where they usually would. This type of park is pretty well familiar to the Rams. Not quite as deep as the confines of Brennan Klein Memorial Field, so you figure they'd be pretty accustomed to this type of area. Fulkerson almost had it picked off. Will fire on to third base. Caught in the rundown now as the shortstop Williams will have it. Back to the pitcher Fulkerson. He's going to chase him back to the second. Now hurries up and gets a throw off. Florida has it. Now it's going to be off to Sawyer Harrison, and Harrison will apply the tag. And after all that, it's all said and done. So we'll try to get the official verdict on that if you're keeping track at home. You're probably going to remember it a little bit better than I do, as I believe it went 1-5-6. 1, 4, 5. So something to that effect, and there's way too many numbers to even try to comprehend. So we're just going to forget about it and chalk it up to the second out of the inning. 0-2 is the count on Gibbs. Here comes the pitch out of the way, and that's going to be in the turf. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, wow. People indeed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on now after the Ram pickoff. 2 outs here in the top of the first of a scoreless ball game. And swung on a miss. So the Rams allow an initial base hit, but a pickoff allows us to go 1, 2, 3 in order here in the top half. We head to the bottom of the first. We'll meet the Rams. Still no score from GCS. This is Mountain Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Welcome back to Personal Banking is more than our tagline at Community First Bank. It's the truth. From our 5 locations in Jefferson County, the debit cards tied to local schools that we offer, the dozens of scholarships we provide to local youth, and even our president who sits at the front door. The Community First Bank difference is apparent. Our mission as Jefferson County's premier community bank is to provide the best customer service around. Stop by one of our 5 locations and experience true personal banking. Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come see the 2013 Chevy Spark at Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. It's just the right amount of small and stylish. It looks awesome, gets great fuel economy, and has lots of safety features like 10 airbags. It's fun to drive and is a safe car with lots of safety features like 10 airbags. You can parallel park the Spark where most cars wouldn't dare. And the Spark starts at just over $12,000. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Bloomington, Paducah, and online at WMIXsports.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back to GCS Ballpark here in beautiful Sauget, just off of I-255. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zerwinski, of course, is on assignment. Doing our best to keep you updated on the Twitterverse. at WMIX Sports. We need to get to know the Rams batting order courtesy of Central Christian Church. It'll be Jake Pike in right field to lead off, followed by Landon Thomas out in center. Colin Young, your catcher, bats third today, followed by Colton Metter, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Stuart Float at second base will bat fifth, followed by Matthew Williams at shortstop. Clayton Reeves bats seventh out and left, while Sawyer Harrison bats eighth at third base. And rounding out the batting order is your designated hitters, Hayden Paninsky. So he'll bat for the pitcher, Fulkerson, 5-1 on the year, but now we'll see the 2-1 Ben Baldridge here for the Redbirds. A right-handed hurler will face a left-handed bat in Pike, and the first pitch is going to just miss low for 1-0 to Jake. Of course, he's been hot hitting lately. Of course, we'll get you updated on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. Of course, you can listen to us, as always, online at WMIXSports.com as it's high and away to Pike. And, of course, that batting order was presented by Central Christian Church. Log on to thenewscentral.com for service times, webcasts, and all sorts of information. That's thenewscentral.com. Central Christian Church is loving God and loving people. As the 2-0 will give away to 2-1 right down the middle. Good pitch there by Baldridge. 2-1 on the year. And certainly they're going to rely on him to carry them deep into the postseason. The 2-1 comes and misses high. 3 balls and a strike, but Thomas on deck for the Rams here in the bottom of the first. Still no score here from GCS Ballpark. Of course, we tweeted a picture of the Rams' view from the first base dugout. You can find that at WMIX Sports. That's a 3-1 tie, but swung on a miss on the fastball. And the count quickly works itself full. Of course, Rams baseball, as always, is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. We'll tell you about more of our sponsors throughout the broadcast. Pike's going to lift one foul. You'll learn as you come here not to park on that side of the parking lot, as it does escape the ballpark and into the asphalt on the left side to our left. We're pretty well dead behind home plate. Dead center, I should say. The full count offering to Pike. He'll reach forward again, send it to the same exact spot, and the count stays full. So a good battle by Jake Pike. This thus far is a 7-pitch at bat. Number 8 will be on the way for Ben Baldridge here in just a moment. We'll tell you about the Redbird defense in just a moment, as the next pitch is going to miss low. So lead off walk. Rams will get the last laugh in that at bat. But not chuckling out in the outfield. Nick Faldo, Ron Wisnaski, and Matt Hopkins from left to right. Clint Kress, Matt Halliday. That's Halliday, so you combine Matt Holliday and Roy Halliday, and you have Matt Halliday. Austin Stilts, Nick Droz from third to first. Ben Baldridge, of course, is your pitcher, and behind the plate is Brent Gibbs. Another lefty in the Ram lineup here. No score in the bottom of the first. 1 on and nobody out for Landon Thomas. Stands in the back of the box. We appreciate this perspective much, much more as you get a better viewpoint onto the field than you would by sitting right behind the backstop. But that first pitch misses to Thomas, and so quick 1-0 count with the runner piketing to Marshall lead off of first base. Now a bigger secondary lead, and here comes the pitch on the way. It looks like it caught the plate. It does. It's quickly 1 ball and 1 strike now as the count evens itself up. We'll do our best to get you some scores from around the area today. Those will be brought to you by Tony Wilton, State Farm Insurance. I'll also say about many of our fine sponsors throughout the broadcast. But as of right now, in the bottom of the first, no scores. Thomas will get a piece of one. Sends that in the center. Wisnaski will give chase, gets set underneath it, makes the grab, and there's your first out on the F8, and it'll send the runner Pike back to first base. Of course, we'll look for a Red Lake College player of the game. Red Lake College, where you can save thousands in your college education. Log on to rlc.edu to find out which of the more than 100 degree certificate programs is right for you. Of course, we passed the top of the hour a moment ago. You heard us identify ourselves here on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. If you're wondering where Danny Zawinski is, he's on assignment today. As they'll check on the runner at first, Pike back with a head first dive. Of course, you missed an exciting pickoff a moment ago. Of course, in trying to keep tabs on who was doing what, we may have messed up the order in which the rundown was. They'll check on Pike again. He beats it back with a head first dive on the brand new turf here at GCS. Told us last year they'd be making the conversion to kind of match up with Rent Run Park down there in Marion, and that way, since so many more teams are using this as their home ballpark, as the first pitch to Young comes inside, they'll check on Pike again. He just gets back. Might have gotten a tag on the foot in time, but Pike barely beats him. So it's a 1-0 count to Colin Young. Here with a runner on first and 1 out in the bottom half of the inning as Colton Metter waits on deck. You won't see the Rams ever wear white pants as it swung on a miss on the 1-0. That's a pet peeve of many. I know many moms out there, or maybe some fathers who might do laundry, don't appreciate the dirt stains on the white and trying to keep them bright. But the gray pants make it a little bit easier. And, of course, the Rams with that black stripe down the side. Here comes the second pitch to Young. The third pitch as it catches the outside corner. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count to the right-handed catcher. High Sock Tuesday for many of the Rams. We keep telling you that they look very much like the old 87, 89 San Francisco Giants socks. Tall black with orange stripes, 3 orange stripes, a triple stripe. As Young's going to get a C&I single through the left side of the infield. Kress gave it a dive and couldn't pick it up, and that'll be runners at first and second now. On a good piece of hitting by Colin Young. And that'll bring up Colton Metter with an RBI chance. Rams, of course, have won the last 3 against Alton here at GCS Ballpark. So no runs on 1 hit thus far for the Redbirds. No errors, of course. Rams, meanwhile, have no runs on 1 hit. The first runner was a walk. Jake Pike worked the count full, and on pitch number 8, he took it low to get the base on ball. So we're about 13 minutes into this one, as it's about 7 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour here in Sauget. Rams will make a trip back here on May the 1st to play what was the old, by technical standards, GCS Ballpark. As a pass ball will get past the catcher, Gibbs. And that'll put runners at second and third. So the Rams are able to take advantage there, and it's quickly a 1-0 count to Colton Metter. Trevor Float is on deck. Here for a Ram team that's looking to keep this streak alive against a Redbird team that comes in usually with an impressive record every year. But the Rams somehow find a way to get the win. So 1-0 the count, 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Pitch on the way to Metter is going to catch the inside corner. And it's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year the Redbirds were 25-10. Their first 25-win season in recent memory. Have not won a regional, I believe, since 06-07, the old 2-class system. As we wait the 1-1 to Metter. He'll swing at a high pitch, going to sit it back near us. Going to be in the second deck here, near the party suites. May actually roll over to the parking lot, and now it's 1-2 to Colton. Colton, of course, used to play basketball, but this year decided to focus squarely on baseball, and it appears to have paid dividends. As we wait the 1-2 with 2 on and 1 out, bottom of the first, still no score. Rams trying to threaten. As it will be in the turf, the count will even itself up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, in 2012, Redbirds went 10-4 in the Southwestern Conference for second place. I believe it was Edwardsville it was O'Fallon last year that finished atop the conference standings. As the 2-2 will be a swung on third strike, drop picked up by the catcher Gibbs, who will promptly tag out Colton Metter, but most importantly for the Redbirds, that puts 2 outs on the board here and allows them a chance to get out of this jam. The runners are on second and third in this home half of the first. Be quite the quandary for the Rams to maybe to strand these runners here. You'd like to get some momentum early in the ball game against a good pitcher like Baldridge. Alton, of course, has numbers on the front of their uniforms, very reminiscent to the Memphis Redbirds unis. Of course, the white hats we told you about look like black bills, so maybe not as similar to Memphis. As the first pitch to Floto will catch the inside corner for strike number 1. The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Find their selection of the new Lincoln MKZ online at FordSquare.com. Or see for yourself there in Mount Vernon. Pitch the bottom falls absolutely out of, and leaving the count as it hits the turf, 1 ball and 1 strike. Struggling not to say dirt. Of course, they replaced the dirt with turf here over the course of the past year and have really made some improvements to this ballpark. So no score, 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the first inning. Rams trying to get aboard. Float it back in the box, digs in, and whacks 1 foul territory over the right field bleachers to keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So there we go. Tell you about plenty of our sponsors throughout the broadcast. Can't do it without many of our Rams boosters. We'll tell you about them as we go along. We're about 10 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour now. We're about 16 minutes into the ball game. Still in the bottom half of the first. 2 on and 2 out for the Rams and a 1-2 count to Flota. As Aldridge gets set out of the stretch. Pulled something off at that time. It's going to be a chopped ground ball. Foul territory down the third base line. And we'll do that 1-2 count all over again as the runners will have to go back. On second base, of course, your courtesy runner for the catcher, Colin Young, is Tyler Ellis. Who else? While your lead runner is Jake Pike. Pike got on with a leadoff walk. It was Colin Young with a 1-out single. Since then, we've had a strikeout. And now a 1-2 count on T. Flo. As Flota gets set back of the box, the right-hander against the right-hander Baldridge. Pitch on the way. He'll reach out to it. But Cedros, who's right there along the first base line, and he'll step on the back. So there go the Rams. They strand 2 in the bottom of the first. Still no score. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
It happens every spring. You need a great quality new-to-you vehicle. There's a reason why Second Chance Auto has been helping put families into affordable, dependable vehicles for over 32 years. Honest, fair deals. Ain't nothing fancy, just great vehicles with warranties, honest deals, and bank rate financing for all. That's the only way Second Chance Auto will do business. And you don't even have to leave your home to get credit approval. Call Second Chance Auto at 244-4582 and get pre-approved right over the phone. They know bad things can happen to good people. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Rend Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuition, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Rend Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
Back to Rams baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
And we'll get back to GCS Ballpark in Sauget again. Just a beautiful backdrop provided by Interstate number 255 beyond the big building that we once thought was a credit union, but is not. But anyhow, we head to the top of the second inning. No score between the Alton Redbirds and the Mount Vernon Rams. So we Matt Hopkins, Nick Calder, Ray Bailey, 4, 5, and 6-2 up in the Redbird lineup. You're in this top half of the second inning. WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Regardless of how you're accessing us, we're overjoyed to have you. As the first pitch of the inning will catch the outside corner to the left-handed Hopkins, and it'll be 0-1. Of course, the Rams got a pickoff after a leadoff single at the top of the first to help get the Redbirds go 1-2-3, albeit in an offset sort of way, as the next pitch sails well outside for a 1-1 count. Chris Hugo with you today. Danny Zerwinski, of course, is on assignment. He'll be back with us tomorrow as the Rams welcome the Cahokia Comanches. Ground ball, hard hit to short, high throw from Williams, but a great tag by Colt Metter, who just seems to have that uncanny ability to leap high in the air to bring the throw down and still somehow find a tag. And so 6-3 will end up being the first out of this inning, and another great defensive gem by Colt Metter. It was a great play by Williams, who really showed some range to get to that hard hit ground ball off of the speedy turf. But the high throw could have been damaging, but a great play by Metter saves it. And now Paulda stands in and takes a curveball for it. Actually swings and misses at a curveball for a strike and falls behind 0-1. We're at 4 o'clock, so we're still waiting on some scores to come in. We'll tell you about those when they do. As the next pitch, outside, good swing there by Fulkerson. And quickly it's a 0-2 count here on Paulda. Fulkerson out of the lineup, very, very effective. And we'll tell you more about what he's wearing today as the 1-2 comes in low and away. Tony Wilde is your State Farm agent in Mount Vernon. He would love to help you with all of your insurance needs. Find Tony in his office. Look for him online at TonyWilde.com or find the white State Farm Jeep around town. Curveball low and inside, trying to punch it in there. It's fouled off, and the count stays 1-2. Fulkerson, the only player on the field not allowed to wear the metal cleats, of course, with the all-turf mound. All-turf field now, all-turf facility. Of course, the grandstands and the grass berms are not, but be that as it may, the playing surface is all turf. But they said that anybody else outside the pitcher, if they chose, could wear their metal cleats. So he is wearing his turf shoes, and now he'll fire one past, a good rocket pass. Paulda swung on a miss, and that'll be the second strikeout of the day for Brock. So with 2 outs and nobody aboard, it'll bring in Ray Bailey, the designated hitter, batting for the pitcher, Ben Baldridge. Has neither pitcher batting today, so the DH is true in every sense of the word as they bat for the pitcher. So 2 outs and nobody on with no score. Rams and the Redbirds. Fulkerson tries to power the Rams out of the inning. Now swings one just outside the left-handed batter's box to the right-handed pitcher, right-handed DH, and the count is 1-0. Next one on the way, swung on a miss. That'll even the count quickly. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rams baseball is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC and equal housing lender. See Bria or Debbie Ashby in Mount Vernon for all your personal banking needs. The 1-1 becomes 1-2 as it swung on a miss on an outside pitch. So nobody on and 2 outs if you're just joining us in the top of the second with no score. Both teams have no runs on 1 hit. The only difference is Rams have stranded a pair. Alton hasn't had a base runner 2 strand, and we'll explain that in just a moment as it'll be a 2-out base hit in the right center field by Ray Bailey. And, of course, the leadoff single by Wisniewski was their lone hit, but he was picked off at second base. He did swipe second, so he does get credit for that. But the Rams and Brock Fulkerson, who has a nice move to second base, had him dead to rights, and after a lengthy rundown, were able to get the out, and on an 0-2, Fulkerson was able to come back to kick Gibbs. So a runner on and 2 gone. It brings up a left-handed bat and Matt Halliday for the Redbirds. Shows bunt, trying to get his way on. Misses. Looked like he committed to it. Don't see an indication, but it looked like he did commit. Yes, he did as they will appeal to the infield umpire. And so it's a 0-1 count. So we're almost left wondering what that was going to be, but now we have our answer. 0-1 the count as Fulkerson works out the stretch. The right-hander will fire. And it'll come inside. That's going to be a called second strike. So now the Rams back to a strike away from getting out of this inning. But a runner aboard here. We'll see if the Rams are able to get him or if this will go down as a stranded runner should the Rams get out of this inning. Halliday stands about 5'8". Swings and misses. It's my opinion the operator at it. The umpire says yes. So 3 strikeouts now for Falk. We're through 1.5. Still no score. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Spring is here, and just about everyone wants to be more mobile. Stop by TMS Mobility, a division of the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, for all your mobility product needs. They carry a large selection of scooters, wheelchairs, and so much more. Best of all, you can rent them by the day, week, or month. The staff at TMS Mobility can take care of billing your insurance, too. TMS also carries a large selection of vehicle lifts for your scooter. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area. It's a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
TMS Mobility, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball on WMIX and WMIXsports.com.
And we welcome you back to GCS Ballpark, Sauget, Illinois. Chris Hugo with you on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. For the Rams, in the bottom of the second inning, scoreless affair thus far. We'll see Matthew Williams, Clayton Reeves, and Sawyer Harrison. 6, 7, and 8 in Tim Holloway's batting order. Quickly, Baldridge set to get to work. Fires a pitch across the outside corner. Williams showed on. Pulled back, but it won't matter. Just like that, it's a 0-1 count. Second chance auto, your home for the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles under $10,000 in one location. We'll tell you more about them. They've done something really cool as the 0-1 fouled off by Williams, 0-2. Now you can call and get your credit approved right over the phone. That's 244-4582 for the folks at Second Chance Auto. Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, the proud sponsors of the Mount Vernon Rams. Next pitch on the way. Good waste pitch that time by Baldridge, the crafty right-hander, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody on and nobody out as Williams gets started. Here in the home half of the second. No score yet from Sauget. The pitch on the way. Fouled off. Good way for Williams to stay alive as that'll clear the restrooms over to our right. So Williams will get set. He takes more of an approach to where he's center in the box right along the plate as the 1-2 will come. Misses high, and just like that, Williams back into the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tomorrow we're back at home. The Rams will take on the Cahokia Comanches in a makeup of a rainout from a couple of weeks back. That's a 2-2 count. It's fouled off. Look out. Back into the parking lot now. Hope our friend, his vehicle's okay, and it stays 2-2. Of course, then on Wednesday, the Rams will travel to Heron, a new baseball complex down there. We'll get to see that, and we'll have that game for you. Thursday it's somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's a baseball conference game. This will be fouled off by Matthew, and it's going to be 2-2 again. I believe the Marion Wildcats come to town on Thursday. Lady Rams travel to Mount Carmel on Friday. We'll have that game for you. Josh Baxter will be taking care of the call of that for us. Of course, he's a friend from our sister station, WYNG. That's Wing FM at WVMC in Mount Carmel. Then on Saturday, the Lady Rams will welcome the defending 2A state champion, Nashville Hornets. We'll have both of those for you right here on WMIX as well. So a busy lineup coming at you. And it's a fastball that misses low, and just like that, it's a full count to Matthew Williams, the senior shortstop. Missed some time this year due to illness, but glad to have him back in the lineup as he'll swing and miss. And that'll be the first strikeout of the day for Baldridge. Fought pretty well in that at-bat, worked it hard. It was an 8-pitch at-bat. Can't really complain about that. Bottom of the second, 1 out, nobody on now for Clayton Reeves, who's always an X-factor. Usually something's going to happen whenever he's in the game. 1 out, nobody on, no score. Pitch on the way, he'll swing through quite a high-velocity fastball, but a fastball nonetheless. Good to have that bucket hat one with us today. You can follow us on Twitter as well. He does. At WMIX Sports, as I'm told, Heron's new facility is very impressive. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reeves here at GCS Ballpark, an equally as impressive facility. Say more about it as a 1-1 fouled off to emerge to 1 ball, 2 strikes. We posted a picture on Twitter, the aforementioned WMIX Sports Twitter, where you get the Rams view from the first base dugout. Somewhat dumbfounded were the Rams when they came in today to see they were going to be in the first base dugout instead of the third base dugout where they've been for eons. Nevertheless, we got to get back to the action, and the 1-2 pitch is on the way. It's in the dirt, so Reeves has the count even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big Dave and All-Stars and Stitches, one of our Rams Booster sponsors. If you need ferals, trophies, banners, signs, pretty well anything that he can put your logo on, give him a call at 435-5555. Or stop by and see Big Dave and All-Stars and Stitches just west of Benson High School. 2-2 on the way to Reeves. Ooh, looks like it's low and away, just misses outside. And it's another full count here in the inning. So back-to-back full counts. Only difference was a couple of foul balls for Williams. We'll see what Reeves does to stay alive or get aboard. He'll get aboard, as that's going to be a 7-pitch at bat, but it gets the Rams their first base runner of the inning, as it could at least get us to the bottom of the order. Sawyer Harrison will stand in. He's kind of been all over the Ram lineup this year, usually around 5th. He's seen 6, 7, and 8 in this Ram lineup. Batted 9th once this year. Trying to find a home for him in the order as illnesses and injuries have been somewhat of a common occurrence for the Rams on a day-to-day basis. And the first pitch will miss in snow. Long it'll catch inside. It's 0-1. Who am I? As we near the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, still about 7 minutes shy. It's 4:23 this game. Aging ever so slightly in the bottom of the second of a scoreless ball game. Pitch on the way. Harrison takes it low, and that should even have to count now. 1 ball and 1 strike. How the umpires work in a game like this is each team hires their own. I neglected to get the name of the Alton umpire, but the Rams, of course, brought Steve Foucher Centralia along for the ride. He is out in the infield. The 1-1 coming. Going to miss low and away, and it's just like that. It's 2 balls and a strike for Harrison. The Ram third baseman. Beautiful day here from GCS. Temperature hovering around the 70-degree mark. Winds are picking up slightly as it blows out to right center field towards those advertisements. Next one is going to be ripped near the second baseman. Good play, trying to turn true. It falls out of his glove, and everybody's going to be safe. Probably should have had at least one on that on the fielder's choice, but trying to make it fancy. He loses it, and that'll be an E4. And puts 2 aboard. You can't assume an error, you can't assume a base hit, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to assume what we want. 2 on and 1 out now for Hayden Paninsky. A good chance here for Hay as he will take it low. Bounces around that turf, and quickly it's 1 ball and no strikes. Quick scoreboard update for you. Mater Dei leads the Centralia Annies in softball the day after 1. That's a 2-0 score. We have Harrisburg-Benson scores to hopefully get you throughout the afternoon as they'll get underway here in just a few moments. A game on a couple of our sister stations today. The 1-0 coming. Going to miss low and away from our perspective, but our perspective's not the official one. It's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Whoopsie daisy. We will not call balls and strikes from up here anymore. As we wait the 1-1 pitch, 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the second inning, no score. This one's going to be ripped into center field. The question is it deep enough to get a run home? They're going to hold the lead runner Reeves at third base, and the bases will be loaded on the 1-out single, as that'll bring in Jake Pike. A good job by Hayden. DH work today for the Polish Power. Of course, you remember we posted a picture of him. He was dressed as Rams basketball coach Scott Gamber on senior night as part of the Chaos Cage festivities. We tweeted a pic that day. You can follow us there at WMIX Sports, see all the pics we tweet, and all the exclusive content that you'll find. No score here, but the bases are loaded. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Pike steps in. Baldridge in trouble. Here comes. Going to miss low and away for a 1-0 count. Plenty of advertisements over in right field. We can tell you about one of them, our sister station, B1047. Home of the Nashville Hornets and Hornets and Washington County Sports. 1-0 is the count. Bases are loaded. Here comes the pitch to Pike. He's going to lift this one. Shining towards left center field. Could be trouble. On the run with Wisniewski. Kicking it on the dive. A couple of runs are going to score, but no, because they had to wait on the dive. Only Reeves will get across the plate. Throw will get away near the third base dugout. It's not going to be far enough, and the Rams will have to settle for a run on the RBI single by Jake Pike. They'll take it, though, and they take a 1-0 lead, a big 1-0 lead in a game like this. Probably a game where many weren't going to give the Rams a chance against the tough 15-3 Redbirds, but they have struck early. So their first run of the ball game comes on the Jake Pike RBI single, and that leaves the bases juiced with one out for Landon Thomas and a 1-0 lead. So let's see. First pitch, high and away. Question is, did it catch low enough for a strike? It did not. And quickly, it is 1-0. Rams baseball, as always, is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. We'll say more about them in just a moment. As we await the 1-0, pitcher Baldridge gets set out of the stretch. This one's going to be tomahawk towards right center field. Could be a blooper. It is. That's going to score a run, maybe two, depending on the aggressiveness of Tim Holloway. As coming around to score is Sawyer Harrison, and it's 2-0 on the RBI single by Landon Thomas. So a little bit of one-out bingo here by the Rams sees them a 2-0 lead against the tough Redbirds. And we will see if they can keep it going with the bases loaded. Good RBI chance for Colin Young, who singled his last at bat. He had the first Ram base hit, so now it's 2-0 here if you're just joining us in this bottom half of the second. And the Rams would like to keep it continued, quote-unquote. Baldridge gets set out of the stretch. Rams just been able to get some blue base hits. That's really helped them immensely, as the next pitch is going to count tight. And, of course, inside to Young. That's what tight would mean. It's a 1-0 count. There's Staley of Country Financial is one of our Rams boosters. We'll say about her in just a moment. See what happens on the 1-0 to Collin. Pitch on the way. This one's going to be sent deep towards right center field. Could be deep enough to get a sac fly. The right fielder, Hopkins, gets underneath it. They're going to test his arm. Here comes Spinitsky. Throw is going to be cut off. It'll be first and third. The Rams take a 3-0 lead. So a sac fly RBI by Young does put two outs on the board, but it makes it 3-0. I think if you're Tim Holloway, you're very happy with that at this juncture. To get 3 earned runs, actually 2 earned runs across the plate, the one unearned, as reaching on an error was Sawyer Harrison. But now with 2 outs on the board and runners at the corners, in will step Colton Metter, who struck out his last time after working the count even at 2-2. Let's see what he gets from Baldridge this time. See if Baldridge mixes it up as Metter stands in the very back of the right-handed batter's box. Off speed that time, kind of whacked at it, had a little bit of trouble off the bat. Awkwardly it went to second base in 4-3. Or retire the side. The Rams strand a pair, but they score 3. It's 3-0 Mount Vernon through 2. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois proudly welcomes Dr. Brian Steinke to their medical staff. Dr. Steinke earned his medical degree at the University of Illinois in Chicago and has degrees in anatomy and physiology from UC Berkeley, and he brings prestigious credentials to the center. Dr. Steinke is a gifted physician and contributor to orthopedic textbooks. Call 618-242-3778 or visit their informative website at orthocenter-si.com.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
And we'll get back to GCS Ballpark. We have reached the end of the second inning, headed to the top of the third. And the Rams lead 3-0. The Rams use back-to-back RBI singles from Pike and Thomas and a sac fly from Colin Young, all with the bases loaded, to take a 3-0 lead. And now we will see Dross, Stilts, and Wisnaski for the Redbirds, otherwise known as 8, 9, and 1. As we head in this third inning. Fulkerson back out for another inning. It's going to be a chop ground ball off the first pitch. Might be a little too late, and that's going to pull the third baseman or first baseman off the bat. Good try by Matthew Williams. That was just kind of a ground ball that maybe in a grass surface would have died, but still kept chugging along and ever so slowly. And with this spacious infield, not that it's any deeper than what we see at Brennan Klein Memorial Field, the Rams just going to come up with it. And so that'll be a leadoff single by Dross to bring in Stilts. That's just the third base hit for the Redbirds today. 1 in each inning thus far. We'll see if Fulkerson can limit the damage out of the stretch. Right-hander fires, swung on a miss, blows a fastball past Stilts. And behind is 0-1. Of course, many games in the area just getting underway. We, of course, had the early 4 o'clock start, getting started more specifically at 15:54. That's military time for 3:54 p.m. As the 0-1 offering is going to come. Pulled back inside corner. Just misses high, however. And the count will even itself at 1-1 strike. I think I can tell you about Sarah Staley an inning ago. We're going to try to correct that fallacy here in just a moment. See what we get here on the 1-1 pitch to the second baseman. Still kind of ironic name. He probably stands about 5'5". As the count is now 2 balls and a strike. I did not see it myself. Fulkerson will look over at the runner on first. He'll fire home out of the stretch, and the 2-1 will be planted towards right field, lifted actually, and on the run is Pike. Oh, as the belt will go right into the wall, but he makes a fine grab anyway, and that'll be your first down. Leaves the runner on, of course. Of course, when you don't know or understand about your existing policies, can end up hurting you and your family. With the right help from Country Financial, almost any family can achieve financial security. Develop a plan to meet your goals. Your Country Financial representative in Mount Vernon, Sarah Staley. Glad to have her along for Rams baseball and Lady Rams softball this season, as well as all of the other sports she helps sponsor, including Rams football, Lady Rams volleyball, and Rams and Lady Rams basketball. 1 on, 1 out, top of the third, 3-0 Rams on top. Then steps the leadoff batter Wisnaski, who singled but was picked off back in the first, and he promptly takes the first pitch. Just misses outside for a 1-0 count. So WMIX and WMIXSports.com, of course, your home for every pitch of Rams baseball. Back on the air tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday with the Rams. Lady Rams on Friday and Saturday. The runner's going. Young is going to wisely put it in his pocket. So catcher indifference will allow the Gross to take second base. Of course, using that terminology annoys me at the high school level. I like to think at this level the stolen base is a stolen base. WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Weathers Broadcasting as we approach the bottom of that 4 o'clock hour. Now 4:33. Runner on second, RBI chance. Bunt laid down, but it's bunted foul. So the 1-1 becomes 1-2 to Wisnaski. Out here on their leadoff batter would be absolutely huge, but it would still leave an RBI chance with Clint Kress, who popped up the shortest last time. So the right-handed batter Wisnaski will stand back in. Kress, as we told you on deck, would like to avoid facing Gibbs here if they can in the third. Pitch on the way, pops high, left side. Harrison over to try to grab it near the third base dugout. He'll make the grab, and there's 2 away. That's exactly what you wanted if you're the Rams. An out in foul territory is an out nonetheless, and that puts 2 outs on the board with the runner on second base to the lefty, Clint Kress, who went opposite way his last time up and popped up to Matthew Williams, who made a nice play on the outfield turn. But we will see what happens here as the lefty stands in. 1 on, 2 outs, top 3. 3-0 ball game with the Rams in control. And this one's going to be ripped through the right side of the infield. Pike will come up with it. They'll hold the runner at third. Good cutoff there on the relay by Colt Metter. And the 2-out single will leave runners at the corners now for Alton. Threatening here in the third is what you didn't want to have happen is face Gibbs if you didn't have to. Gibbs, of course, was over-aggressive in his first appearance back in the first inning and later struck out. See what happens here as he approaches the play yet again in the third. Chris Hugo with you today. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment. We'll have him back with us, I believe, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Both of us will be on assignment Friday. And then we're both back with you on Saturday for the Saturday Sports Show and the Lady Rams Hornets doubleheader right here on WMIX. Fulkerson gets set, gives the dish, and he'll miss outside. Location was good vertically, but just misses horizontally, and now it's a 1-0 count as Gibbs, the catcher, will get ahead. Top the third. Glad to have you with us. Courtesy of Community First Bank. Tell you more about them after the 1-0 is fouled off to make 1-1 strike. Your community, your choice, your bank. 5 locations with friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs. Community First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC. 1-1 the count. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Top of the third inning, a 3-0 ball game. Mount Vernon on top. Here's the pitch on the way. Runner thought about going. This one will be lifted into shallow center field. On the run, Pike and Thomas as it shades towards right center. Pike will make the grab. So the Redbirds strand a pair here on the third. We're through 2.5. Still 3-0 Rams. This is Mount Vernon Baseball from WMIX Sports.
How do the best continue to get better? Hi, this is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. We're no different than any team. When you're at the top of your game, the best want to play for you. That's why, with the addition of our new shop foreman and the rest of our body shop crew, Landers now has a combined experience of over 70 years in dealing with the best parts and repair finishes on the market. This means when you walk into Landers, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your vehicle will receive the best quality repair by the best certified technicians within a reasonable amount of time. Again and again, we work directly with most insurance companies and have loaners and rental vehicles on site for your convenience. We're proud to not only be the standard, but to keep raising the bar in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the Landers crew that Landers Collision has so proudly acquired. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Listen to us from any device at WMIXsports.com. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
And we welcome you back, Rams Baseball on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zawinski is on assignment. As we head to the bottom of the third inning, it'll be Trevor Flota, Matthew Williams, and Clayton Reeves in the Ram lineup. Rams, of course, scored 3 runs there in the bottom half of the second. 2 of those were unearned. Counting against the pitcher Baldridge, who's back out for a third inning. Rams are cruising thus far. 3 runs on 4 hits unofficially, limiting Alton to no runs on 4 hits with an error. Of course, the Rams have stranded 4, Alton stranded 3, and you do have that. First pitch on the way to Flota is going to miss inside. And it's a 1-0 count to T. Flo. A couple of scores to pass along in baseball today. Triathletes Waterloo early, 3-0. Effingham, we'll get you that in just a moment, as Flota rips a base hit. Slicing towards right center field, and it'll be a leadoff single for T. Flo. For some reason, I guess just for geographical rivalry's sake, Effingham still plays North Clay, and the Hearts lead the Cardinals 2-0. That's after 1 inning up there in Effingham. That scoreboard update presented by Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance. For all of your insurance financial service needs, see Tony right there in his office, online at TonyWilt.com, or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town. So 1 on and nobody out for Matthew Williams. Struck out his first at bat after working the count full. It was an 8-pitch at-bat for Matthew, but would love to see a different result here. Chokes up on the bat, stands a little bit further back in the box. Looks like he took a first pitch high, at least I thought. Never saw an indication, so we're going to assume it's a 1-0 count here to Williams until we're corrected. And by gosh, we will be if we are wrong. So a runner on first is Flota, led off the inning with a single. Aldridge has scattered 5 hits thus far in the ballgame. No, just 2 of the 3 runs are earned. Sawyer Harrison reached on an error and scored back in the second inning. Now we're in the third. Here comes inside, misses low. 2-0 count here to Williams, who has a pretty good eye to play. And, of course, he will play collegiate golf next year, I believe, at Red Lake College, if I haven't already forgotten. Try to get you some more scores as well. As the next pitch will catch the corner for a 2-1 count here on Williams. Reeves, the batter, on deck here for the Rams. Alton, meanwhile, will head to the Edwardsville Regional a little bit later on, as we told you in our Landers Collision Center's pregame show. 2-1 pitch. We'll tell you all the teams in just a moment. Fisted foul down the right field line. It'll be in the seats. One of the Rams JV players will head over to get it. But Edwardsville, Danville, Pekin, Quincy, and Alton, of course, the northern Madison County teams, along with Danville, Pekin, and Quincy, comprise that 4A regional at Edwardsville. Rams will get to see the Edwardsville facility on May 15th. Here comes in the turf. On a full count to Williams again. He struck out his last time, the only strikeout thus far for Baldridge, but has a chance to really do some damage here in this third inning with a runner aboard and nobody out, and to get it to Clayton Reeves, who walked and scored his last time. Pitch on the way. Make or break. It's going to be a ground ball to short. Halliday, the second for 1 good turn, and out at first on the 6-4-3 will be Matthew Williams. So just like that, runners erased from the board, and it puts 2 outs now up for Clayton Reeves with the bases empty. Certainly not what you wanted to see in that particular at-bat. That'll happen. But the Rams still have a chance to do some 2-out bingo maybe here in the inning. Another score for you. Centralia Orphans lead Belleville East after 1-0, and 1 an Orphan team Matt Kottmeyer has, as we saw them last week. 1 week ago today, as the 1-0 pitch on the way to Reeves. Right, that's good at low. So 2-0 is your count with 2 outs. The base is empty. That scoreboard on tape is presented by Tony Wilf. We'll tell you more about him throughout the broadcast. 2-0 coming to Reeves. Ooh, tomahawk swing in the left center field. The air will get underneath and carry it. But hangs long enough for Wisnaski to make the grab. So, offset, but they still do. 1-2-3 go the Rams here in the third. Still 3-0. This is Mount Vernon Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
Do you farm or operate an agriculture-based business? Then Community First Bank is for you. Hi, I'm Steve Down, Agribusiness Lending Officer at Community First Bank. With our roots firmly planted in Jefferson County, we offer the stability, strength, and personal attention that you deserve. Community First Bank wants to be your financial partner with customized products for both your personal and farm banking needs. Stop by any of our 5 convenient Jefferson County locations to see how we can help your business grow.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Startup businesses, and they come in the door, they're pretty green.
Randy Atkinson, owner of Heartland Accounting, on why he is a small business expert.
I have had businesses where I've talked to people in their garage and have grown it to work in 3 states. There's a lot of tremendous opportunity to help people from the very inception of their business, whether it's just talking about what does it take to become successful, what sorts of things do we need to stay legal. I feel very qualified to help people get to where they want to be. I've had that experience and have helped that situation become successful.
Heartland Accounting, 3000 Broadway, Suite 2B.
Find us on Facebook under WMIX Sports. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
And we welcome you back. Rams Baseball on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with you as we head to the top of the 4th. It'll be Matt Hopkins, Nick Falda, and Ray Bailey. 4, 5, and 6 for the Redbirds. Interestingly enough, looking at their lineup card, wondering how they were still in regulation, but they're not, as we are now in the 4th inning. No runs on 4 hits with an error for Alton. 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Rams, although both teams have stranded their share of runners. The 1-0 pitch, if you just missed it, the first pitch was outside to the left-handed batter. And now a chopped foul ball down the first base line, leaving the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by King City Chrysler Center. Check out the 2014 Jeep Patriots. See their selection online. Yes, 2014. KingCityChrysler.com or see for yourself at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Another reason why King City Chrysler is your Jeep headquarters of Southern Illinois. Ground ball ripped to Metter. Good backhanded grab. He'll scoop it over to the pitcher, Fulkerson, who wins the footways over to the bag. So, after that race finishes in favor of the pitcher, 3-1 will be the official putout. That'll bring up Nick Falda with nobody on and 1 out. Of course, tomorrow, don't forget, is the Special Olympics ceremony, as they will honor the Special Olympics state champions before the Cahokia game. It was originally scheduled to be before the original Cahokia game, but of course that game was postponed due to rainy conditions a little bit earlier in the month. So they will honor the state champion Special Olympic basketball team. They expect it to last about 10 minutes, as there are 8 team members from that state champion. That'll all be tomorrow at Brendan Klein Field. They'll do it about 4:15 prior to the game. We hope to see you there. Foul ball in the first pitch to Falda, who struck out his first time up, and he stands back in, down 1-0-1. Now fouls up another one to the screen. It'll be no balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get you some updates from around the region, of course, from our various scoreboard updates. Really concerned about that Benton-Harrisburg game. 2 Rams opponents battling it out in river-to-river Ohio play. The 0-2 pitch is going to be popped up, shallow left center field, and a good grab there by Matthew Williams to make another outstanding play. And there's your second out of the inning for Ray Bailey to stand in with nobody on. Of course, Benton and Harrisburg, both Rams opponents. Harrisburg split a doubleheader with DuQuoin. That was Saturday afternoon. Both teams won by a score of 7-3, oddly enough. That game, I should say those games were at Harrisburg, as those 2 teams split. So 1-0 the count here on Bailey as it misses outside to the right-hander. He singled but was stranded his last time. As the 1-0 pitch will be ripped in the left center field. It'll be left fielder Reeves to get there first. And so it'll be another 2-out single today for Ray Bailey, the DH, and that's the reason why he's batting today for the Redbirds. Of course, if you want to see other games of interest, look for our scoreboard at WMIXSports.com. We archive all of our broadcasts. Anything that appears on WMIX AM or FM somehow ends up on WMIXSports.com. We're not sure how, but it ends up on YouTube. As the first pitch to Halliday is swung on a miss, and just like that, it's 0-1 with 2 outs and a runner aboard here in the top of the 4th. Still a 3-0 ball game that sees the Rams on top. We'll look for a Ridley College player of the game. Tell you more after the 0-1. It's going to be lined into left field. Could be trouble. Base hit. It'll scoot to the wall. Bailey's going to round second, headed for third. They're going to try to wave him around to score. Not far behind is the batter off the double, and it is going to be an RBI double. As I did not see Bailey hesitate. I did take my eyes off him for a moment. He was chugging along, being waved around. One might argue whether or not the runner really scored off of the double, but I think that he did. So just like that, it's 3-1. So Alton threatening now with a little 2-out bingo here in the fourth inning. Nick Drost will stand in. He singled and stole a base back in the third inning. That was an inning ago. He did lead off that inning. One of the tendencies that Brock has, unfortunately, is to allow the leadoff batter to get a board, but usually he's able to come right back and attack. Get the Rams out of any perceived jam. So 3-1 is your score here in the top of the fourth inning. A runner on second with 2 outs. Pitch out the stretch. Good curveball that time. Apparently not good enough, and it's going to be 1-0. Well, that was the best curveball he's thrown today. But our opinion means nothing. It's about where it crosses the plate, not where it ends up. 1-0 the count. 3-1 your score. Rams hanging on by 2 as the next pitch is going to get away. Taking third base will be Matt Halliday. Young did all he could to stop it, but that one just got away, got to the backstop, and now the Redbirds are threatening with a runner 90 feet away. Or St. Louis Downtown Airport is not far behind us. I was always kind of perplexed by that name, because it's not in St. Louis, nor is it downtown. Here comes the pitch on the way on the 2-0. This one's going to be sent for a ride in left center field. Wynn's going to get a piece of it as it dies down, and a gust for the gods will be at F8 for Nick Drost. That'll end the threat here in the fourth. But not before the Redbirds score a runner. It's 3-1 Mount Vernon. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Spring is here, and just about everyone wants to be more mobile. Stop by TMS Mobility, a division of the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, for all your mobility product needs. They carry a large selection of scooters, wheelchairs, and so much more. Best of all, you can rent them by the day, week, or month. The staff at TMS Mobility can take care of billing your insurance, too. TMS also carries a large selection of vehicle lifts for your scooter. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area. It's a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
TMS Mobility, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
You're listening to Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
And we welcome you back to GCS Ballpark. Chris Hugo with you on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Rams. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Mount Vernon's still on top of Alton by a 3-1 score. Harrison gets it started. Here comes. First pitch he sees, lifted into center. Wynn's going to blow it over towards right center field. On the run is Wisniewski to make the grab, and there's your first out of the inning. Rams Baseball is presented by Community First Bank, with 5 locations in Mount Vernon, Dixon, and Woodlawn. Community First Bank, proud to be the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. Lady Rams battling Salem. That game finally underway today. We'll get you a score from there in just a moment. As the first pitch will come to Paninsky. Paninsky helped out in a big way back in the second, single to load the bases. Rams later brought all 3 of those guys home, and it's a 3-1 score. That's the difference thus far. Pitch on the way to Hayden. 0-1. It's going to be get 1 ball and 1 strike now as that bounced around in what would be turf. It is turf here at GCS Ballpark. They went the way of the Southern Illinois Miners and Rentwan Park. 0-1 coming. This one's going to be sent to right. Shading foul. The wind gets a hold of it. It's into the stands, and it'll now be 1-2 to Paninsky. Second Chance Auto, one of our many fine Rams sponsors. Call 244-4582 to get your credit approved without ever leaving your home. Make great financing for all of their largest selection of vehicles priced under $10,000 in one location at Second Chance Auto. Ground ball up the middle. Will Halliday have the range? He will, but he won't be able to come up with it. He wasn't going to get Paninsky anyway, in my opinion. So we will give Paninsky the benefit of the doubt and give him another base hit. So Hayden's now 2 of 2 today. So we appreciate Second Chance Auto for all of their patronage with Rams and Lady Rams Athletics. You're on WMIX. Aldridge, the pitcher for the Redbirds, wearing all white today, including white hats with a black brim. A little bit of red trim out there. It's a bird on a bat, I believe, on their hat. As Pike will lift one foul into the left field bullpen for a loud first strike. With one on and one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Rams in control thus far, 3-1. Thomas, of course, is on deck for Mount Vernon. Trying to get something going here in the bottom half of the fourth. The JV teams will play immediately following this. Almost looked like a palm ball on the outside. Surely it wasn't, but maybe it was. You never know. Lady Rams, of course, trails Salem 2-0 midway through the first. They haven't had a chance to bat yet. Maybe they'll get those runs back. As of now, the Lady Rams at 4-7 trail the Salem Lady Wildcats. Of course, this would be an opportune time for the Lady Rams to get back to their winning ways before going into a conference game with Cahokia tomorrow. That game will be at the Cusimano Sports Complex as they will check on the runner again. Hayden back safely. Still a 1-1 count on the batter, Jake Pike. Pike, of course, 1 of 1 today with a run batted in. He was stranded both times at third base. Back in the first and second innings, respectively. Stands up here in the fourth. Chance to do something big here in the inning. 1-1 pitch is going to miss outside, by my opinion, but it's going to be all to strike, and it's 1-2. All right. It'll be all of that as it may. 1-2 the count on Pike with one out here in the bottom of the fourth and a 3-1 ball game. Pitch on the way, turns on one that says it's foul, and the count remains 1-2. Here for the Ram right fielder. All-Stars and Stitches, another of our booster sponsors. C. McDavid All-Stars, just west of Benton High School, are called 435-5555. You can put a logo on it. They can probably print it. They even do apparel, also full vehicle wraps down there at All-Stars and Stitches in Benton. 1 on, 1 out. The runner's going on the 1-2, and great work on the hit and run by the Rams. As this will see its way on a line drive, a frozen rope through the left side. It puts runners at first and second on the single by Pike, and that was hit and run all the way. Runner was going. Middle infielders charged the bag, and that left a gaping hole through the left side. Shortstop would have been there otherwise. Thankfully, instead of a 6-4-3 double play, you have 2 on and only 1 out for Landon Thomas. Let's see what Thomas can do with an RBI chance here in the fourth. Rams trying to extend this 3-1 lead over the Redbirds. And that'll do a great job of getting it done. They're going to wave Paninsky around. Pike's going to head to third base. Here comes a relay to the plate safely is Paninsky. The runner's going to second. Wise move by Gibbs to put it in his pocket. The Rams take a 4-1 lead on the RBI rip by Landon Thomas, who ends up at second base off the single. So it's second and third now. Paninsky has 2 of the 4 runs scored today. Not bad for your bottom part of the lineup. That's actually where the runs have crossed the plate. Production to bring him in has come from the top of the order. And now, if you're the Rams, you hope that continues off of the bat of Colin Young, who's 1 of 1 today. Singleton had a sac fly RBI back at the second. And they're going to intentionally walk Young to load the bases, maybe to try to induce a double play. But this is not the guy I would want to bring up after an intentional walk, because there is nothing more insulting to Colton Metter than that. We'll see if it pays off for the Rams. We near the 5 o'clock hour. Your news today will be on 94.1 only. Reese Barnfield, I believe, has all of the action. Your eyewitness reports on the 5 o'clock news on WMIX FM. So 1 out and the base is loaded here in the fourth. We'll see if it pays dividends for Colton Metter. Pitcher Baldridge getting up there in his pitch count. We'll see what he does out of the stretch. Stays out of the stretch with the bases juice. Interesting. This is high on the first offering, and quickly it is 1-0 to Colton Metter. Community First Bank of the Heartland, the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams, has 5 Jefferson County locations. Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ida. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC. The 1-0. Looks around the bags. Here comes Baldridge's offering in. The dirt gets away from the catcher. Not far enough. Good stop by Gibbs. It'll be 2-0 here to Colton Metter. Metter struck out his first time. Ground out to second his last. That was in the first and second. Did not get to bat in the third inning. Bats here in the fourth. Has a great RBI opportunity with the bases juice. It's only 3:45 to the gap in left center. Here it comes. This could be a chopped ground ball in a foul territory, and it'll be 2-1. Good effort there, though, by Clint Kress to try to come up with it. We got started early. This game's now an hour and 2 minutes old as it's 4:56. This game was scheduled to start at 4. Really, it was scheduled to start at 6, but we did the old JV varsity flip-flop. JV will play under the lights tonight for a little bit. As soon as this one's over. 4-1 ball game. Rams on top, looking to add some more. Metter will take another one in the dirt, and it's 3-1. So a hitter's count. We'll see if Metter has the green light with the bases loaded. Infield playing in, but not as much as you'd think. First baseman not holding the runner at first wisely. Playing just inside, just in the bag in the infield grass. Turf, actually. As Metter's going to rip one deep into left field with the bases loaded. So the warning track, it will go. The left fielder, Paul, that makes the grab, and this is going to score a run. Across the plate will come Jake Pike, and while it wasn't deep enough to escape the yard because it's not Marion or Benson, it is a sac fly, and Colt Metter gives the Rams the 5-1 lead. How sweet it would have been, however, but the Rams still have first and second with 2 outs. You figure this is a Marion or a Benson or a field of that ilk, and this is a grand slam we're talking about, but as a result, it's still a productive piece of hitting. Colton gets the RBI, and that brings in Trevor Flota, who singled and was stranded an inning ago. He led off that third. Takes one inside, turns in. It's going to be 1-0. Probably can't tell you enough about Community First Bank of the Heartland. Told you quite a bit about them here in this fourth. Rams have played it 2 more to make it 5-1. Bases still actually no longer loaded after the sac fly. Flota's going to pop one up into foul territory. Another plane takes off. Looks like a twin-engine Cessna from St. Louis Downtown Airport, just nearby. Oh, it really does. I guess that's exactly what it is. What it is on the field is a 1-1 count with 2 outs and 2 aboard here for the Rams. The runners are on first and second. Baldridge trying to get out of a jam here in the fourth. Looks back, the runner on second out of the stretch comes home into the turf, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Always knew that we went to Rent 1 for Rams baseball. It was in the turf, and then you come here to GCS and it'd be in the dirt still. The GCS, fine folks here at Sauget, home of the Gateway Grizzlies, the Webster Gorlocks, the Lindenwood Lynx, and maybe McKendree at times. Decided to go all turf this year. Field turf surface is beautiful as the 2-1's going to be fouled off, 2-2. To Trevor Flota with Matthew Williams on deck. 3 runs in the second, 2 runs thus far in the fourth. Giving the Rams their 5 is a run at the top half of the inning. The Rams that's answered. And that's your 5-1 ball game. 5 runs, 8 hits unofficially for the Rams. 1 run, 6 hits, and an error for Alton. Redbirds get set. Baldridge concerned with the runner on second. Nobody to hold, nobody to cover. As this one's going to be roped towards left center field. Backpedaling Wisniewski. He'll make the grab. Rams strand 2, but they scored 2 here in the fourth. It's 5-1 Mount Vernon. This is Rams baseball powered by Community First Bank.
It happens every spring. You need a great quality, new-to-you vehicle. There's a reason why Second Chance Auto has been helping put families into affordable, dependable vehicles for over 32 years. Honest, fair deals. Ain't nothing fancy, just great vehicles with warranties, honest deals, and bank rate financing for all. That's the only way Second Chance Auto will do business. And you don't even have to leave your home to get credit approval. Call Second Chance Auto at 244-4582 and get pre-approved right over the phone. They know bad things can happen to good people. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon.
Startup businesses, and they come in the door, they're pretty green.
Randy Atkinson, owner of Heartland Accounting, on why he is a small business expert.
I have had businesses where I've talked to people in their garage and have grown it to work in 3 states. There's a lot of tremendous opportunity to help people from the very inception of their business, whether it's just talking about what does it take to become successful, what sorts of things do we need to stay legal. I feel very qualified to help people get to where they want to be. I've had that experience and have helped that situation become successful.
Heartland Accounting, 3000 Broadway, Suite 2B.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Effingham, Terre Haute, and online at WMIXsports.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back to Rams Baseball, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. As you just heard us identify ourselves, Chris Hugo with you, Avery Barton back at our Mount Vernon studio. So glad to have you with us. The Rams score a pair more in the fourth to take a 5-1 lead, drew up at the top of the fifth, 9-1-2 for Alton. As we will see Will Lewis pinch hit here in the number 9 spot. First pitch seen, he rips in the left field. This could be extra bases as it heads into the corner. Around first, headed for second is Will Lewis before we can even get his name in the book. And so a pinch hit double to lead things off here in the fifth, and we'll see if that maybe gets something going for the Redbirds. So that'll bring up Wisnaski. Let's see. 1 of 2 today. Singled. Picked off back in the first. Popped up in foul territory to Sawyer Harrison back in the third. That's all he's done today, but he stands in with an RBI chance here in the top of the fifth. 1 on and nobody out. Rams on top 5-1. Of course, we'll get you a Tony Wilk scoreboard here in just a moment. From the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway. Drive one for your school for Waltonville this Saturday. Drive smart, rather, Lincoln event. Ground ball to short. A throw that'll pull Metter off of the bag, and it was going to be tough to beat him anyway because the ball, for some reason, though this is speedy turf, seems to be traveling sluggishly. So given that Williams probably wasn't going to have a play anyway, we'll go ahead and give that a single. Runners at the corners and nobody out for Clint Kress with the dangerous Brent Gibbs on deck. This will be a good opportunity for the Redbirds here if they can make something happen. For Fulkerson, meanwhile, he's got to settle down and throw your pitches. Out of the stretch they'll come. Spins one in there, and what's sidearm? Good stop by Metter. Just has to step on the bag. And that keeps the runner, Will Lewis, on third base on a good play by Colton. Put it out on the board, but it does set up a scenario with 2 runners in scoring position now, as the runner Wisnaski advances to second base with just the lone out. However, that said, Brent Gibbs is 0 of 2 today, but with 2 in scoring position and a definite RBI chance, this is really not the place that you want to have him. So at last check, the details of some of the scores from around the area, we'll get to that in just a moment. With 2 on and 1 out, top of the fifth, Rams on top 5-1 over the Redbirds if you're just joining. And the pitch is in the dirt. Make that the turf again. 1-0 to Gibbs. Last check, Triad led Waterloo 3-0 early. Mascuda leads Highland 1-0 through 3. Marion and Goreville in baseball are scoreless after 2. Effingham, for some reason, playing North Clay, they lead 4-0. That one's at the end of 3 as well. The 1-0 is going to scoot low and away and miss. 2 balls, no strikes now to Gibbs. That's all we see at this juncture. The Lady Rams in softball, however, lead 3-2 after scoring 3 runs in the home half of that first inning. Softball in progress. Argento Oriana leads Shelbyville 1-0. Say more about Tony after the 2-0 is going to hit the batter Gibbs in the back. So that's one way to avoid him doing too much damage. But you put a runner on, the bases are loaded for Alton here in the fifth. That scoreboard update, Tony Wilk, State Farm. For all your insurance and financial service needs. Interesting. The Twitterverse is active as they're going to have a conference come out. Anyhow, Tony Wilk. Find him in his office. Look for him online at TonyWilk.com. Or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town and get you a better stay with State Farm. This break in the action, as Tim Holloway will talk it over with his crew, is powered by the Medicine Shop. 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Where customer service is their top priority. If I seem sluggish in my voice, more scores are rolling in. Softball today, Modern Day leads Centralia 6-0 after 3. Midway through the third in a crucial river-to-river Ohio matchup, Harrisburg leads Benton 3-0. So the team that everybody thought was going to be your conference champion last year, the Bulldogs, leading last year's Ohio Division champ Benton 3-0. Oddly enough. You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Folks going to stay in the game. We will have a courtesy runner, Logan Spiller. What did I just have? Nice. This bench having 18 Twitter accounts on the phone. Bases are loaded, 1 out here in the top of the fifth. In steps the lefty bat of Matt Hopkins, who's 0 for 2 today. Catches the inside corner and maybe swung and missed. No short-term memory here, and it's 0-1. Yeah. So no balls, 1 strike to Hopkins, 1 out, and the bases juice, and he is going to bloop this one into left. Will it be deep enough? Reese will come up firing after the grab. The throw is not going to be inside. Metter will cut it off at the mound. Good play there. And the sac fly RBI makes it 5-2. But most importantly for the Rams does not advance a runner to third base and puts 2 outs on the board. So Hopkins does a great thing by getting the run across the plate. Makes it a 5-2 ball game and a great chance for Nick Palda, who's also 0-2. So the guys who have not done anything today are really taking advantage of their third time through the lineup against Brock Fulkerson, who's putting that 5-1 mark on the line. Here against a tough Alton team out of the Southwestern Conference. 15-3 on the year. Their only losses are in Southwestern play. as Paul takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. And you're accustomed to seeing Fulkerson really light up the strikeout count, but today just has the 2. 0-1 coming out of the stretch. Shoot, took something off at that time, just past the diving Williams. It'll be the Wisnaski, the center fielder, coming around to score. That gets by Reeves and left. 5-3, make it 5-4. Another run will come around to score. They're going to keep the trail runner at third base, and it's 5-4 now. After an RBI single and an error out and left, and that'll be the Rams' first error of the day. Wow, and that will make it 5-4, as on that play alone. Try to figure out our book. Should be 5-4. They've scored 3 in the inning. As Bailey will stand in. Takes his first pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. Runner on third, here it comes. Ground ball through the left side. Williams can't come up with it. We're tied at 5 on the RBI by Bailey. The Calda will come in to score. And now it's a 5-5 ball game. If you're Tim Holloway and the Rams, this is not what you wanted nor what you expected. An RBI single with 2 outs, and then an error in left field allowed it to become a 1-run ball game, and then a subsequent RBI single with 2 outs allows it to become a tie. Yikes. Rams were hoping to get this one against an Alton team that you kind of look at some of their up and down on the schedule, and the teams they've beaten not as impressive as the teams they've lost to. But they're 15-3 for a reason. That's the first pitch by Halliday. Spelled like Holiday, Matt Holiday. His first name is Matt, but it's an A instead of an O, interestingly enough. And with a runner on and 2 outs in a tie ball game, Alton's done some damage, but Fulkerson tries to attack, goes belt high, misses inside. And it looks like it'll be a 1-1 count now to Halliday. Man, oh man, you certainly don't like that if you're the Rams. But here comes a fastball down the middle, swung on a miss, and just like that, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pretty detailed schedule for this coming week. That'd be this week if you're keeping score at home. Tomorrow, Rams baseball against Cahokia. Rams will travel to Heron on Wednesday. Thursday, they welcome the Marion Wildcats for a second time as they check on the runner at first. He's safe, not a problem there. Friday, the Lady Rams will have that for you on here. They travel to Mount Carmel. Josh Baxter of Sister Station Wing FM and WBFC will have the call. DC and I will be on assignment. We're back Saturday, however, for Lady Rams softball against the defending 2A state champion, Nashville Hornets. Ooh, a Plinko ground ball over to second base. Flota picks it up and fires over first. And Halliday will retire to the side. But the damage done here in the 5th. We're tied at 5. This is Rams baseball from WMIX Sports.
More Americans are on a move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer with a look at your next round weather. Partly sunny today. Highs will be right around 70. Tonight will turn out mostly cloudy, low 53. Rather cloudy, breezy, and cooler tomorrow. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly from late morning on, high 62. A shower in spots early on Wednesday. Otherwise, it'll turn out partly sunny and cool. Temperatures Wednesday will top out at 54 degrees. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
This is Mount Vernon Rams baseball on WMIX and WMIXsports.com.
And we'll get back to Rams baseball. We head to the bottom half of the 5th, tied at 5. Alton scores 4 runs in the 5th. Unofficially, 2 of them earned against Brock Fulkerson, and now it's up to Matty Williams to get it started here in the home half. He'll wave and miss the curveball high, and it's 0-1 to Matthew with Reeves and Harrison to follow here in the inning. The Rams did pick up their first error defensively in the inning. That contributed to some of it as the next pitch misses low to Williams. A good eye that time. And it's a 1-1 count. Rams have 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. It's bounced around down there. It's going to miss well low, obviously, as it bounces around near the plate. For a 2-ball, 1 strike count to Matthew. Rams have stranded their fair share of runners. 6 on the day, to be exact. Well, that's all you can say. So Baldridge is back out for his 5th inning of work. Works out of the windup as Williams will plant a single to right field through the right side. So goes the opposite way and leads things off with a base hit to put a runner aboard now for Clayton Reeves. Reeves is 0-1 today. He walked and scored back in the second but flew out to center his last time up. Of course, we told you the Rams have 5 runs on 8 hits with an error. Make that 9 hits now. Trying to read my own writing. Alton, however, has 5 runs on 10 hits with an error. They've stranded 4. We're going to have a new Alton pitcher. We'll tell you about him in just a moment. We'll take a break. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, I'm Bria Ashby with Community First Bank. It's always my goal to make the transition to Community First Bank as easy as possible for our customers. Our handy switch kit helps in doing just that. Whether it's direct deposit, auto transfers, or online banking, I'm here to help. Come see me at our 42nd Street location to open your account today and let me remind you how banking should be. Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Don't just dream about a better job. Go get it with scores of programs that take 2 years, 1 year, or even just a few months to complete. Rend Lake College is your gateway to a career you'll love. From nursing to coal mining, from computer programming to cosmetology, and everything in between. Rend Lake College is affordable, convenient, and ready to get you trained for your new job fast. Call us at 618-437-5321 or visit us at rlc.edu.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Back to the Rams on WMIX.
And we welcome you back to Rams Baseball here in the bottom of the 5th, tied at 5. New pitcher is Austin McKee. We'll see Reeves poke a bunt down the first base line. And what Clayton does is what DC and I talk about all the time, is there's a time and a place to slide to first, and that was one of them there with the first baseman off the bag in a foot race. And so that'll go down as 1-3. It'll be a sacrifice, though. Reeves almost bunted his way on. As the new pitcher is McKee. We'll get to the line on Baldridge here in just a moment. McKee comes in. He is a senior. At least that's the number they have. He's listed as a manager. Maybe I'm just reading the wrong number. That's also possible. All I see is the number on the front. That's either 15 or 19 on the number on the pitcher. I think it's 15. Pitcher? You have better eyes than I do. This will be a tap foul by Harrison on the 1-0, make it 1-1. So my apologies. It's actually Charlie Howard. Irrelevant at this point because Ben Baldridge goes 4 innings, responsible for the runner on second. Gathered 9 hits, allowed 5 runs, 4 of them earned with 3 walks, and one of those was intentional, of course, and just 1 strikeout. So Howard is now your pitcher. Not seeing the manager usually get to wear a number, but maybe they do things differently in the Metro East. There's the 1-1 coming. Going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Good hop there by Williams. A fire across the diamond. It's going to be off the mark, but a good stretch there by the first baseman Drost. And 6-3 will be your second out. 4 runs thus far unearned at the top of the 5th by the Redbirds, tied it at 5. Hard to believe. You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. As Belleville East is taking a 2-1 lead over Centralia in baseball today. The Annies were trailing Mater Dei as the first pitch to Paninsky. Catches for a strike, and it's 0-1. Hayden has singled and scored twice today, making a case to be your Rend Lake College player of the game. Rend Lake College, of course, where you can save thousands on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu to find out how. Paninsky's going to rip one into right, and that'll drop for a base hit. The lead run comes around to score. Gets away from the right fielder on the dive. Paninsky is around second, head for third, where he'll be waved in by Tim Holloway and told to slide. And great hitting work by Paninsky. It's a single that gets away. Did not see if he got a glove on it, so really it's a triple for Paninsky. Not bad. Kid never stopped running. And it brought in Matthew Williams to make it a 6-5 ball game. So that run actually belongs to Baldridge. So he's charged with 6, 5 of them earned on the RBI triple by Hey. And now the Right fielder, but left-handed Pike will stand in. Tomahawk swing, foul ball. Near the left field bullpen out of play on the berm. And it's 0-1 to Pike. The important thing is the Rams answer one of the runs in the top half of the inning. Glad to have our listeners from Herent tuned in. Centralia. Rural parts of Jefferson County. Wayne County, Hamilton. The entire area is 0-1. We'll miss low and away to the left-handed bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fifth, something like that. On the road, you're accustomed to saying top half, but the Rams are the home team here at this neutral site affair. Next pitch on the way by Pike is going to be sent foul again. To our left, looks like it might have touched the second deck here, and it's going to be 1-2. Not sure of the official capacity at GCS Ballpark, but nowhere near filled. JV game will follow this one. Here in the bottom of the fifth, 6-5. Tapper back near the mound, picked up by the pitcher Howard, fires to first, and that'll do it here in the fifth. So through 5, the Rams had the go-ahead run and take a 6-5 lead. This is Mount Vernon Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Wilton Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. And when there are back problems, pain is always a constant companion. The Orthopedic Center also specializes in pain management, so put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Back to Rams baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
6 runs, 10 hits for the Rams, 5 runs on 10 hits for the Redbirds, and an instant classic developing as we head to the top of the 6th for the Redbirds will be Drost, Lewis allegedly, and Wisnaski barring any changes to the Alton lineup. And the first pitch from Fulkerson, who's back out for inning number 6, is going to tail low and away to the right-handed bat. And just like that, it is 0-1. You can follow us on Twitter, fresh content on there, at WMIX Sports. With 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts, Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to personal banking. Remember, FDIC, it's Fulkerson, responds with a quality pitch on the outside corner. 1-1 pitch on the way, ground ball. Don't reach for it, Brock, but he misses, thankfully, and Flota comes up with it for the 4-3. You have infielders for a reason. Fulkerson made a great effort, but luckily he did not tap it or slow it down or impede the progress of the ground ball. Flota was able to come up with it and get the out. Oh, so many details, so little time, as we're already in the 6th inning. Say about Sarah Staley here in just a moment. Pitch on the way from Falk is going to catch the outside corner for a strike to Austin Stilts. So Lewis comes in and pitch hits back in the 5th to get a double and later score. Here comes the next one on the way. It's in the turf, and it's a 1-1 count now to Stilts. Stilts reinserted here in the 6th inning. He gets another at-bat with Wisnaski, the center fielder, on deck, who's been dangerous today for the Redbirds. Again, they wear the Memphis Redbird-like uniforms. They're in the whites today. White hats, white helmets, white pants, white top, with the Redbirds and the Birds at the bat. 1-0 coming. Ground ball tapped to second base. Flota will get charged, picking up with the glove, fire over to first. And back-to-back 4-3s, put back-to-back outs on the board for the Redbirds as the Rams try to get all to go in order here in this top half of the 6th inning. Sarah Staley at Country Financial, one of our Rams boosters, reminds you that tomorrow is the day that anything could happen. When you meet with Sarah Staley at Country Financial in Mount Vernon, you get a one-on-one relationship and a plan to meet your goals. Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Security here. He's shutting down this Alton lineup in the 6th inning with 2 outs and nobody on for Wisnaski, who takes the first pitch low and away for ball 1. And a quick 1-0 count. Out of the lineup comes Falk again, able to pull a string inside, trying to turn on what was likely to hit up and in on the hands, something like that. And now it's 1-1 to Wisnaski. Near the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour, a game that strolled along up until an inning ago. Wisnaski trying to act as if that may have hit him, and it did not. But be all of that as it may, the Rams will keep it continue here in the inning. 2-1 now the count on the center fielder. This is going to tail low and away for a 3-1 count. The last thing you want to do is put him aboard here. Both gets set, comes right across the plate, but a little high, and that's going to be a 2-out walk. And it's been the 2-out base runners that have hurt the Rams here today, as we'll see Clint Kress stand in, 1 of 3. Singled in the third, stranded on that first base bag, and then grounded out 3 unassisted his last time up. We'll see what happens here. Can Alton answer the Rams' run in the bottom half of the fifth? It's 6-5, Mount Vernon lead. Bolt gets set. Checks on the runner back at first base. Beats it back with a head-first dive. So we'll see what happens. You follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. I'm at Hugo Nation. Should you be interested? Probably not. That's fine. The runner on and 2 outs. 6-5 with the runner going. Throw down the second base from Young. Will tail away. Went got a piece of that, too, and it'll be a stolen base. So now a runner in scoring position here in the Alton half of the sixth. Yikes. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon. See the all-new 2013 Ford Fusion. It's spectacular. Find them online at FordSquare.com or see for yourself. Again, 1501 Broadway at Mount Vernon. 1 ball and no strikes to left-handed batter Kress. Second trying to toy around. And this one will be sent into left, and that will be all she wrote. So, after stranding a runner again for the trail 6-5, we head to the bottom half. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday sports show? WMIXsports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
With 2 new hospitals, trusted physicians, and dedicated staff, it's clear that our local healthcare industry is helping to make our community stronger every day. Hi, I'm Terry Prosize, a commercial lender and healthcare banking specialist at Community First Bank. I'm putting over 20 years of healthcare and business experience to work for our medical community and local businesses. Whether you have an expanding physician practice, an existing business, or hoping to start a new business, I have the financial prescription for you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Listen to us from any device at WMIXsports.com. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
And we're looking back to GCS Ballpark. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zawinski on assignment today for the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. We'll see Landon Thomas, Colin Young, and Colton Metter here on the top bottom. Darn it, of the sixth. First pitch will miss low to LT. It's 1-0 count. Landon's quietly had 2 RBI singles today, but been stranded on the base path both times. His 2 of 3 performance. Interesting. Kress flew out to left to end the threat, and yet another stranded today for the Redbirds, who trail 6-5. But the Rams, meanwhile, trying to add some insurance. So 2 balls and a strike. Quickly the count to Landon Thomas. Rams baseball is powered by Community First Bank. See Joe David Cummins for a commercial loan. You may have heard the president sits right at the front door. Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC. Pitch in route to Thomas. He'll golf one down the right field line. That should be a fair ball. Should have been. But it's a foul, and we'll disagree up here, and we'll be right. That's fine. Scott Gamber, I think, might agree as well. But it'll be a full count. An allowed strike to Landon Thomas. That one hit inside the line, down the right field line. We had a pretty good perspective of it ourselves. It'll be a foul ball. Still full count with nobody on and nobody out. Thomas getting us started here on the sixth. We'll get you a Tony Wilk scoreboard update in a moment. Next pitch on the way. Thomas is going to plop this one up left field side toward the bullpen, out of play. JB team wisely decides not to be a Steve Bartman because there is a kid down there wearing green headphones. Probably not listening to us. If he's listening to us with those type of headphones, he's probably 15 seconds behind on WMIXsports.com. Technology, as amazing as it is, that's still something that cannot be corrected, so you have to go through one server, get to another server, back down to another server. And that's about as quick as they've been able to get it. Full count coming to Thomas. Pops it up, down the third base side, foul territory. Look out, Coach. Grass will come away with the grab. There's your first down. You hate to see that. Thomas battled in the at-bat, but ultimately comes up short. You wonder if that wasn't actually a fair ball down the line. The Yankees trail Mater Dei 9-0. Centralia Baseball trails now Belleville East 2-1 after 2.5. Last check midway through the third, Harrisburg led Benton 3-0. And a last check through 2, the Lady Rams led Salem 4-2. That scoreboard update powered by Tony Wilson, State Farm Insurance. For all of your insurance and financial service needs, see Tony right in King City. Look for him online at TonyWilson.com. That's worldwide. Or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town as the 0-1 comes. Colin Young looking to get to a better state here. As the 0-1 is high for a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Rams senior catcher. He'll play right here his home game starting next year as a member of the Lindenwood Belleville Lynx. And here it comes. Fouled off down the right field side into the picnic area, now into the bleachers. And it'll go back down the stairs towards the picnic area. Not that any of that matters to you at home, but we await the 1-2 with the bases empty and one out. And Young grips one into left field. That'll be a base hit, and so a one-out single for Young. Put the runner aboard now for Colton Metter. Metter, of course, at about a 300-foot sacrifice fly his last time up to the warning track with the bases loaded. Would have loved to have seen Colton got the grand slam, but as a result, it wasn't meant to be, and we'll see the courtesy runner Tyler Ellis. As coach will take a visit. No, the catcher will. Scott Gamber making the musical selections today here at GCS Ballpark. He'll have the JV game following this one. One out and a runner on for Colton Metter. Bottom of the sixth inning. Rams on top 6-5. Pitch on the way. It's going to catch the outside corner of the delayed strike call, and it's nothing to one. Intricate details thus far. 5 runs, 10 hits for Alton. Rams have 6 runs on 11 hits with an error. As the 0-1 pitch dips in the turf for a 1-1 count now on Colton Metter. 8 runners stranded now, however, by Alton. Rams try not to strand another runner here in this inning, as Ellis will be back to check over at first base. The pitcher, Howard, looks somewhat demoralized by that. But it was a good dive by Tyler, who was almost caught napping. Marginal lead off of the bag. Haven't seen much of Tyler. He's been battling some nagging injuries. Prohibited him from pitching thus far. But when he's been able to pitch, he's been very effective for the Rams. 1-2 the count on the tap foul down the third base line to Metter. We'll see what happens here. The pitcher, of course, on relief is Charlie Howard. He's 5'10", weighs $180. He'll check on the runner at first again. I can't say I blame them. Never know what aggressiveness the Rams are going to display on the base paths. Sun is starting to set behind us into the western skies. It's going to be a foul tap down the first base line. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the skies will darken as the moon rises. Lights will be turned on for the JV game to come at about 6 o'clock. We're near the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour here in the Central Time Zone on WMIX. Not quite time to say goodnight to full power. As we await the 1-2 from the pitcher Howard out of the stretch. This one's going to be sent to the right field gap. Out to right center field. That'll take a bounce all the way to the fence. They'll wave Ellis around the score. It's going to be deep. We'll see if they get him in. Metter's going to be held up at second base. Here comes the throw home. It's going to be high. Ellis slides around any tag. There wasn't one anyway. And that'll be an RBI double by Colton Metter. A big base hit by Colton makes it 7-5. Ellis comes around to score in place of the catcher Young as a courtesy. Speaking of which, we appear courtesy of Community First Bank of the Heartland. 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to keep it simple. And be the first to say, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC, and Zach Gines will be a pinch runner for Colton Metter. In talking with Coach Holloway prior to the game, he indicated we might see Zach as a courtesy or as a pinch runner, followed by maybe an appearance into the ball game. And indicated that it would also be possible maybe to see a Thomas Weber or Tyler Morgan on the hill today for the Rams. Fulkerson, however, has been masterful at times. Fallen into trouble at times as well, but all in all, looking for win number 6 today. So 7-5 ball game. RBI chance for Trevor Flota, who stands in. Gines the runner. Quick feed off the second base back. Got a secondary lead as it's tapped foul by Flota down the third base line. And it's 0-1. Mississippi Valley baseball today. Highland leads Mascoutah now. They've come from behind to take a 3-1 lead to the top of the 6th. Triad all over Waterloo, 8-0. That's a good Triad team that got a trophy last year. Rams would like to forget the Triad Knights. 0-1 coming. Going to be up and into Flota. Make it a 1-1 count out of Trevor. Second Chance Auto, one of our Rams booster sponsors. Brown sponsors the Rams. Also your home for the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, priced at $10,000 in one location. Also call for credit approval over the phone. Call Trevor Flota for a fly ball into center field. It's shallow but grabbed by Wisnaski. Too shallow for a runner to tag, but that'll be your second out of the inning for Matthew Williams with the runner in scoring position. Credit approved right over the phone at Second Chance Auto. 244-4582. Not bad. Taking a look now around the South 7. Marion in non-conference play leads Goreville after 4 innings, 2-1. The Goreville team, Goreville on both sides of the gender, have been somewhat sluggish here in 2013. As the first pitch to Williams is going to be a blooper in the right center field beyond a diving. Stilts. Around the score will be Gines, and it'll be an RBI single for Williams to make it 8-5. Lest we forget, you're thinking what I'm thinking. The Rams won this 10-5 a year ago. And now take an 8-5 lead. Here in this bottom half of the 6th inning on an RBI blooper, a Texas leaguer in the right center by Matthew Williams, and that'll bring in Clayton Reeves. Let's see. If memory serves right, Rams won this game 10-5 last year. Won this game 6-1 in 11 as we wait the first pitch to Clayton Reeves. Wayne's going to get a piece of this and keep it in the ballpark, blows it back into shallow territory. And just like that, down go the Rams here in the 6th, but not before they add some insurance. 8-5 Mount Vernon through 6. This is Rams Baseball, powered by Community First.
What is good sports talk, really? Around these parts, it's the WMIX Saturday Sports Show. Every Saturday morning after the 8 o'clock news. With a vast assortment of interviews and knowledgeable in-studio discussion. It's the most content-driven local sports show on the radio dial. And it's every Saturday morning after the 8 o'clock news. Only on AM 940 and WMIXSports.com. Where you can listen on your computer, smartphone, or any device. It's all made possible by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. It's what healthcare should be.
Don't just dream about a better job. Go get it with scores of programs that take 2 years, 1 year, or even just a few months to complete. Rend Lake College is your gateway to a career you'll love. From nursing to coal mining, from computer programming to cosmetology, and everything in between. Rend Lake College is affordable, convenient, and ready to get you trained for your new job fast. Call us at 618-437-5321 or visit us at rlc.edu.
Back to the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. This is Rams Baseball on WMIX.
So 5 runs on 10 hits and 1 error now for the Alton Redbirds as they head to the last chance 7th, trailing the Rams, who have 8 runs on 13 hits with an error of their own. As the Rams will rely on Brock Fulkerson to try to get the complete game effort here today. It'll be Gibbs, Hopkins, and Palda here in the top of the 7th as the first pitch is off the home plate, literally. And it's a quick 1-0 count. Rend Lake College Player of the Game will come your way in our Schmidt-Chevy postgame show. Rend Lake College, where you can save thousands on your college education. Or find out all the details of their more than 100 degree and certificate programs at rlc.edu, as both will get a strike call low and away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 coming. Going to be low and in. 2-1 now to Gibbs. Gibbs headed to Indiana next year to play college baseball, unless should have to be drafted and sign a pro contract sometime in June as the 2-1 comes. Ooh, good pitch check that time. It's going to be 3-1 on a pitch that just misses up and in. Alton has not had a player from that community go on to play professional baseball in over 40 years, according to a preview from SDLHighSchoolSports.com. As Gibbs will pop one foul first base line, JV guys will have to scoot out of the way. Actually, that's just some warming up at the bullpen for the varsity. As you see, Tyler Morgan catching Thomas Weber. Full count here on the leadoff batter, Brent Gibbs, who He's 0 for 2 today. He was plunked in the fifth, but came around to score. Full count offering. This is going to be raked into right field. Pike is going to have to retreat. That'll get down at the wall. It'll bounce over for a ground rule double. Off of the bat of Gibbs. He gets his first base hit today. Gibbs, of course, I think thought he had a triple, or maybe thought it cleared the wall altogether, minus the bounce. But that'll be a ground rule double. And puts the runner in scoring position now for the Redbirds. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by King City Chrysler Center, where the 2014 Jeeps are already starting to roll in. You can find their selection at KingCityChrysler.com or look for yourself at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Tim Holloway will climb the dugout steps. We'll see if we see him. We're going to see him. Timmy's starting to make his way out of the dugout. This break in the action is powered by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, where customer service is their top priority. See Dr. Eric Black and the staff at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon at 2339 Broadway. As we'll see what happens, we're going to see, it looks like Thomas Weber coming out of the bullpen. That's going to be all she wrote for Brock Fulkerson. So, all of that said, Avery Barton, the joke's on you now. We need to take a break. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Welcome back to Personal Banking is more than our tagline at Community First Bank. It's the truth. From our 5 locations in Jefferson County, the debit cards tied to local schools that we offer, the dozens of scholarships we provide to local youth, and even our president who sits at the front door. The Community First Bank difference is apparent. Our mission as Jefferson County's premier community bank is to provide the best customer service around. Stop by one of our 5 locations and experience true personal banking. Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come see the 2013 Chevy Spark at Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. It's just the right amount of small and stylish. It looks awesome, gets great fuel economy, and has lots of safety features like 10 airbags. It's fun to drive and is a safe car with lots of safety features like 10 airbags. You can parallel park the Spark where most cars wouldn't dare. And the Spark starts at just over $12,000. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Bloomington, Paducah, and online at WMIXsports.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back to GCS Ballpark here at the top of the 7th inning. 1 on and nobody out for Alton as a threat. Thomas Weber, the junior hurler, also a catcher, coming on in relief to try to pick up the save. Brock Fulkerson went 6 strong. Scattered 11 hits, 3 walks over his 6 innings of work, so a little higher whip than what you're accustomed to seeing out of Brock. But allowed 5 runs, debatably. Only 3 of them are earned, debatably. The runner on second does belong to Brock. He cannot be the loser, can only be the winner. Anything else would be a no decision for the Rams starter. However, Ben Baldridge can still be the loser for the Redbirds. So off of the right side of the rubber, Weber fires a fastball low and inside to the left-handed bat and misses for 1-0. So Weber comes on to try to close it out. Of course, all of this is happening courtesy of Community First Bank of the Heartland with 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking. Next pitch on the way high on the fastball. A lot of zip and a lot of movement on a Weber fastball, but that time I don't think they were too certain on where it was going to end up, and it's a 2-0 count quickly to Matt Hopkins, the right fielder. Gibbs, of course, reached on a ground rule double. See, we get on 2-0 off of the right side of the rubber. This is low, and that was just a release point thing there for Thomas. 3-0. Played quality downs for Jared Shaner on the Rams football team this past year as a member of the secondary. Also a backup QB. We'll see what happens in the coming years for Jared Shaner. 3-0 coming. Going to catch the inside corner for the obligatory 3 balls and a strike. This is the last chance 7th for the Redbirds, though. They trail 8-5. Tying run would be on deck, theoretically, hypothetically, as we infer that possibility. The 3-1 coming. Going to miss up and away to the left-handed batter. And so a walk to start is not what you want to see out of your closer right now. Of course, closer more by role today than definition. And we'll see what happens. Get you some more Tony Will scoreboard updates. The Annies lose today at 5, 10-0 in Modern Day. We'll get you a Lady Rams update before we call it a game. There's still plenty of baseball to be played here. Still nowhere near the 21st out. But that's going to be a strike across the outside corner to Nicola. And it's 0-1. So Weber, who pitches, I'm serious, far side of the right-handed side of the rubber. Now powers a fastball just inside, missing for a 1-1 count now on Paulden. 2 on and nobody out at the top of the 7th. Tying run at the plate for the Redbirds. Center fielder Thomas plays straight away. Right fielders play pretty well in proper position. Infielders guarding for a double play with the first baseman not holding the runner at the bag. As the 1-1 misses low. 2 balls and a strike now to Paulden. Roy Bailey on deck has been dastardly today. 3 of 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. Let's see what happens on the 2-1. The Redbird team that last year made it to a regional final comes inside of the fastball again. The count evens up at 2-2. They lost to Edwardsville 6-2 in the Granite City Regional Championship game. 15-3 this year, trying to avoid falling to 15-4. They're 2-3 in their conference. This would be their first non-conference loss as the score with a hold. 2-2 pitch on the way from Weber. Going to miss high and tight with a 2-seamer, and it's going to be a full count. You certainly don't want to see the bases walk loaded here. The Rams need everybody they can to throw strikes. Fulkerson removed from the game with 1 on and nobody out. Now it's 2 on and nobody out. The possibility for the bases loaded. Make or break pitch on the way from Thomas. Misses outside. The bases are loaded on the walk. Oh, my, oh, my. Colin Young's going to talk it over with his junior pitcher. So the Lady Rams do lead Salem in the 6th, 4-3. That's a game that's moved rather quickly. Effingham leads North Platte 4-3. And this is going to be a pitching change. We'll take a break so the pitcher can warm up. It's 8-5 Rams. Bases are loaded for Alton with nobody on the top of the 7th. This is Mount Vernon Baseball from WMIX Sports.
It happens every spring. You need a great quality new-to-you vehicle. There's a reason why Second Chance Auto has been helping put families into affordable, dependable vehicles for over 32 years. Honest, fair deals. Ain't nothing fancy, just great vehicles with warranties, honest deals, and bank rate financing for all. That's the only way Second Chance Auto will do business. And you don't even have to leave your home to get credit approval. Call Second Chance Auto at 244-4582 and get pre-approved right over the phone. They know bad things can happen to good people. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Rend Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuition, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Rend Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
Back to Rams baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
And we welcome you back to Rams baseball. Still in the top half of the 7th. Rams lead Alton 8-5, but Alton threatening with the bases loaded. The new Ram pitcher is senior Tyler Ellis. The story on Thomas Weber is he faced 2 batters, walked both. Now the bases are loaded. So, theoretically, it is conceivable that with a tough luck base hit or grand slam, that Tyler Ellis could be in a position to get a decision. So here comes. The first pitch thrown by Tyler to the right-handed bat is going to catch the outside of the plate to Bailey for 0-1. See if he has an answer for Roy Bailey, who's 3 of 3 today with a run scored and a run batted in. But as it stands right now, the bases are crammed. The first base run belongs to Brock Fulkerson, the starter of today's game. Runners on first and second belong to Weber. This one would belong to Ellis, who just gets squeezed low and away for a 1-1 count. Rams baseball, we remind you, is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. JV game will come your way. We'll provide Twitter updates at WMIX Sports for you. 1-1 coming. Catches the outside corner. Good location for Tyler Ellis. See what we get. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A chance to get the first out of this top half of the last chance 7th. Top half and last chance pretty well redundant in this scenario. Unless Alton can make the best of it. This will be a line drive foul into the screen, and it keeps the count at 1-2. So Brock Fulkerson cannot be the loser, nor can Thomas Weber, oddly enough. Brock can be the winner. However, Tyler Ellis, if something dastardly should happen, could possibly end up with a losing decision. Check swing inside, caught the plate, but misses low apparently. And now it's a 2-2 count. Yikes. That looks like a heck of a pitch for Mr. Ellis. Doesn't get the call, and this game will continue. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, nobody out at the top of the 7th. 8-5 ball game. This is going to be folks down in the parking lot behind us. Just escapes the sweet territory to our left and to our right here at the media booth. See what happens on the 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, nobody out, top of the 7th. Alton trying to come back. This one's going to be ripped right up the middle. Could score a pair. Lead run will come to score. They're going to hold them up at third. A throw that bounces in a heck of a play by Colin Young. The barehand grab off of a leap. It hit the rubber on the pitching mound. Ends up behind home plate with a good play by Young, and that limits the damage. As that will mean that Fulkerson is responsible for 6 runs, 4 of them earned unofficially. And now Tyler Ellis needs to get some outs or he could get a decision here, and it's not the decision he wants. Barring a Ram comeback in the bottom half of the 7th, should we get there. It's 8-6 now. Base is still loaded and nobody out. As we will see Matt Halliday. Of course, we're going to have a break here. We're going to see a pinch runner. It'll be Logan Spiller to run for the DH. Bases are still loaded. We are here in the top of the 7th of an 8-6 ball game. Chris Hugo with you today on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment. He'll be back with us tomorrow. I suppose we shall see what happens. As Ellis looks in for the sign from his catcher Young. The left-hander, Halliday, is in. Pitch on the way is a fastball across the fat of the plate. It's going to be 0-1. Halliday is 1 of 3 today. Had an RBI double in the 4th to get the first runner across the plate. Since then, it's been back and forth, back and forth. Rams lead right now 8-6. Pitch on the way. This time catches the outside corner. It's going to be 0-2. So after 5 innings, Harrisburg leads Benton 5-0. That scoreboard update presented by Tony Wills, State Farm Insurance. For all of your insurance financial service needs, see Tony in his office. Log on to TonyWills.com or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town. This one's going to be popped up in left field. Deep enough possibly for the runner to tag. They're going to test Reeves' arm. The runner will score. And it's now 8-7 on the sac fly RBI. But if you're looking for a silver lining in that particular play, at least it's an out. And it keeps the runners on first and second. However, it is now 8-7. So now Weber charged with a run and an earned run. Speaking in terms of our book and how stats are kept. Otherwise, a run's a run is a run. An earned run is still a run. So 2 on and 1 out at the top of the 7th as Alton has come charging back. Back within a run. Tying run on second. Go-ahead run is on first. Insurance run here at the plate as Ellis will wind it. Fire. Catches the first pitch strike across the outside corner. The Rams desperately need some more strikes here. Colin Young going to talk it over with the runner being on second base. Maybe switch up the signs a bit. GCS Ballpark in Sauget. The backdrop that is the big building behind us beyond the left field wall, not the credit union like we always thought it was. I-255 in the background. Change up that time, swung and a miss, and it's 0-2 to Nick Drost. First baseman who had a single to lead off the third, stole a base and was stranded, but since then is 0 of 2 to make for 1 of 3. Another one on the way. This is going to be a ground ball. Charging on its Williams, going to have to hurry a throw to first base. There's your second out, and just like that, things became very interesting for the Rams. With runners on second and third for the Redbirds, and down to their final out, it'll be up to Austin Stilts, who's 0 of 2, but as has been the case today, more like the norm with Alton. It's been the guys who are 0 of 2 coming around for that third time who have done the damage. 8-7 ball game now. It's interesting indeed. We'll see what happens with 2 outs. Time is 5:50. We near the top of the 6 o'clock hour. We'll have your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show that's made upon what happens in the inning. First pitch on the way. The runner thinking about going. It catches the outside corner. The right-handed bat falls behind. 0-1. We thank Community First Bank of the Heartland for bringing you Rams athletics on the radio all season long. Every pitch of Rams baseball. Select Lady Rams action. We'll have them on the back end of the week. 0-1 pitch on the way to Stilts. It's in the dirt. Good block by Young. Runners are on second and third with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. An 8-7 ball game. Rams on top. Alton is threatening here with the go-ahead run on second base. Tying run obviously on third. And again, insurance at the plate. 2 outs, however. Down to their final out. 1-1 coming. Inside low, and it's a 2-ball, 1 strike count now on Austin Stilts. And Zerwinski, as we told you, on assignment. I'm Chris Hugo with you on WMIX, WMIXSports.com. We're on Twitter at WMIX Sports, and you can find our full slate of archives on our website or go to our YouTube channel. 2-1 coming. Ooh, just pushed high. And a 3-1 count and a pitch away from walking the bases loaded. Tying run would belong to Thomas Weber, the runner on third. The go-ahead run on second belongs to the current pitcher, Tyler Ellis. Pitch on the way, comes inside, and the bases have been walked loaded. Uh-oh. But a force anywhere. Silver lining lies. No, strike on the outside corner. It was such a delayed strike call that we thought he was pointing the runner down to first base. So now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the Redbirds are down to their final strike. We apologize for that gaffe. We weren't helped along very nicely. Pitch on the way. Chopped ground ball back to the pitcher. He can fire over to first in the game, and the Rams are going to win this one 8-7. They win it 8-7 on what was a very thrilling 7th inning, but they get out of the jam, and they improve to 17-5. We'll tell you all about it in the Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. This is Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Motor City reclaims its name with the 2013 Chrysler 200. Hi, Roy Schmidt Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. The Chrysler 200 has a great classy design. The lines and curves create a precise, chiseled profile. LED tail lamps eliminate attention to detail. And each Chrysler 200 wheel choice adds a different finishing touch to the vehicle's overall design. Right now, we are offering our own finishing touch with great incentives. Choose $3,000 in customer cash or choose 0% financing for 72 months. Wow! We have over 30 Chrysler 200s in stock, all having been awarded the IIHS Top Safety Pick. Browse our entire inventory at KingCityChrysler.com or come see one of our associates at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, and don't forget to find us on Facebook.
When you hear the warm, inviting sound of a crackling fire, what comes to mind? A rustic campground? A cozy cabin? How about the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center? Our new family lounges feature a lot of comforts you might not expect. Things like this. No, that's not a babbling brook or serene stream out in the countryside. It's a 2-story waterfall located right here at Good Samaritan. And that's not the only way we're raising the bar for patient comfort. We've added lush healing gardens, as well as wall after wall of beautiful artwork, all designed to create the perfect healing atmosphere. And if all this sounds like music to your ears, we encourage you to check us out. Chances are, we're not too far from where you are right now.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital
raising the bar.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday sports show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting. This is Mount Vernon Rams baseball on WMIX. The Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show starts now.
And we welcome you back to GCS Ballpark for your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon. View their inventory online at schmidtchevrolet.com. Chris Hugo with you, Danny Zawinski on assignment as the Rams win this one 8-7. Rams baseball, of course, is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland, who brought you this game between the Mount Vernon Rams and the Alton Redbirds today. We're so glad to have had you with us as we take a gander at your Heartland County postgame numbers. First, of course, for the Rams and the Redbirds, I suppose. This is basketball. My apologies. Took an hour and 57 minutes. We got started at 3:54. We finished at 5:51. Brock Fulkerson improves to 6-1 with a win today. Charlie Howard, who gave up the 7th run for the Rams, as Alt did come in to score 7, is actually your loser, not Ben Baldridge today. So Baldridge spared the decision. Tyler Ellis comes on in relief for the save. So 8 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, 8 stranded for the Rams today. 7 runs on 12 hits with 1 error and 8 left on base for the Redbirds. You take a look at the pitching totals today. Brock Fulkerson went 6 strong, scattered 11 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. Thomas Weber came on in relief, walked the 2 batters he faced, only responsible for a run in that. Tyler Ellis, however, comes on, gets the save, 1 inning pitch, only allowed the 1 hit, and that was really all the damage that the Rams sustained in that top of the 7th. For Ben Baldridge and the Alton Redbirds, Baldridge went 4 innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, with 3 walks and a strikeout, while Charlie Howard, who gets the loss, went 2 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, no walks, and no strikeouts. The Rams improved to 17-5. Alton falls to 15-4. And those are your Heartland Accounting post-game stats. Get started right. Let Heartland Accounting help make your business a success. Heartland Accounting, 3000 Broadway, Suite 2B. Your small business expert. Your Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac post-game show will roll on. Schmidt Chevrolet, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have your Red Lake College player of the game. This is Rams Baseball, presented by Community First Bank.
I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer with a look at your next rad weather. Partly sunny today. Highs will be right around 70. Tonight will turn out mostly cloudy, low 53. Rather cloudy, breezy, and cooler tomorrow. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly from late morning on, high 62. A shower in spots early on Wednesday. Otherwise, it'll turn out partly sunny and cool. Temperatures Wednesday will top out at 54 degrees. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Backaches, bad hips, rickety knees? Why not try aquatic therapy? The Red Lake College Aquatic Center has more than a swimming pool. Try a 6-lane, 75-foot lap pool, along with a whirlpool 10 feet in diameter and a 10-foot by 20 hydrotherapy pool. Aquatic therapy is very affordable. In many cases, the tuition is waived entirely. With special access and dressing areas for the elderly and physically challenged, getting in the water is easy. Experts are on hand to assist with various areas of aquatic fitness and rehab. Call 437-5321 extension 1207 or visit rlc.edu.
You're listening to Rams Baseball on AM 940 WMIX, Mount Vernon, Carbondale, Cape Girardeau, and online at WMIXSports.com. A free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we'll get back to the Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zawinski is on assignment today. Rams beat Alton at GCS Ballpark by a final of 8-7. Of course, the JV game will take place next. We owe you a Red Lake College player of the game on your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show as the JV game set to begin in approximately a few minutes as they will warm up and take their infield rounds. And we'll stick around and try to tweet you some updates at WMIX Sports. Thanks to Pierce Bora of the McKendree Bearcats for tuning in today. Of course, a record holder at Mount Vernon High School, spent many years at second base and on some tremendous Ram teams that advanced to sectional championship games. So, we do owe you a Red Lake College player of the game, and Hayden Paninsky, who follows us on Twitter, you should too, at WMIX Sports. He went 3 of 3, 2 runs scored and a run batted in, also had a triple today. Legs that one out. He is your Red Lake College player of the game. Red Lake College, where you save thousands in your college education. Log on to rlc.edu to find out how. The Rams are 17-5 rather, as they beat Alton 8-7 today. Alton drops to 15-4. Rams are back in action tomorrow against Cahokia. We'll have that game for you here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com, where you can listen from any device. We hope you'll join us. 4:15 your pregame, 4:30 your first pitch. Myself, Danny Zerwinski, will be back alongside tomorrow afternoon. Don't forget, they will also honor the Special Olympics state champions tomorrow. Prior to the game, the Special Olympics basketball state champions, all 8 of them participated in Bloomington. They will honor them tomorrow before the game. 4:15 will take about 10 minutes. We hope you'll come out, support that effort, and then support the Rams baseball team against Cahokia. And bring your radios. We're here on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. For everyone at WMIX Sports, especially Avery Barton, Danny Zerwinski, who was on assignment today, and all the team, I'm Chris Hugo. I want to thank you for listening on behalf of our sponsors as the Rams wrap up an 8-7 victory over Alton. It took an hour and 57. Thanks so much for tuning in. So long for Sauget.
Thank you for listening to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball on WMIX and online at WMIXsports.com. Rams Baseball has been presented by the official voice of the Mount Vernon Rams, Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. The Mount Vernon Rams on WMIX are also sponsored in part by Ren Lake College. See how you can save thousands on your education at rlc.edu. The Medicine Shop of Mount Vernon, Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a Hospital. Raising the Bar. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Sarah Staley, your country financial agent. Heartland Accounting. And by Central Christian Church. Your home for news, talk, sports, and America's best music. WMIX. Find archived broadcasts of Rams baseball at WMIXsports.com.